a dud. The Uranus is a neutralizer. So let's see what Edward's going to be picking up here. They get OM's Clint, and oh, there it is! The dynamics, the relationship we just talked about. Blacklist, they want to counter, they want to neutralize and keep away Delarski on that Esmeralda. But one more pick. They need to give something to Marky here. What might it be?
Honestly, I'm really feeling that Lunox. I feel like the Lunox can bring a lot, especially considering that they are going up against a Uranus. They need some sort of burst here. And let's see what it is. No, they will go for Lilia. So I was right about the burst, not about the hero. Lilia picked up for Marky, adding a little bit more sustain as well.
Same for the Uranus. This is a squishy composition for the side of Blacklist International, and they don't have the best sustain as well, apart from the fact that Rafaela has heal. But of course, with the burst of the Lilia, it's almost impossible to out-sustain that. It's almost impossible to rely on your healings. That's probably why they picked it up. The question is, where will it go? Mid lane or gold lane?
Well, it is going to be the question here. Beatrix, very, very dominant laner. If he goes to the mid laner, will dominate that lane. Do they want to put this hero to suffocate the Clint, or just to get that mid pressure so that they can make the split happen in the early stages of the game? That is going to be the question that we need to see answered here in the game.
Between these two teams, it's Onic who actually likes winning early, and Blacklist who's willing to trade that early game. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the match. Game number 1 upon us. These are the lineups. This is Blacklist International versus Onic PH. Game 1 in a best of 7 for the World Championship.
I want to hear it. I want to see it. Break the code, or what time is it? Onic time. But unfortunately, we are going to take a look at the drafts a little bit more. Let's talk about it even more here. I think I'm going to start it off with Blacklist draft, all right? For Blacklist draft itself, it is the typical Ube, I can kind of say, but a little bit different. It's refined here, all right? Because they have the winning side lanes with the Clint. They can get that pressure as well with Edward on that Uranus, but their core mechanic is still going to be that front to back. That's what's going to make them win these games.
So the thing that I see coming out from the side of Blacklist International is that they don't have the hard engage we normally see with Haji, for example, on the Grok or maybe on the Cho. There's really not a way to start the fight unless they do it with the Holy Baptism, right?
Yep, they can only get these catches. They don't have any real call as to where the fights happen. They have no way to pin down anybody from Onic.
And if you're looking at Onic Philippines, they can rely on this Matilda to start the fights with them. Curious to see which is the mid laner or the gold laner. Actually, I wasn't able to catch it because it was just a quick glimpse when we paused, but my guess is that they will put the Lilia against this Clint in the gold lane so that they will have a great lane. As Clint is generally a hero that will be a 50-50 matchup against the Beatrix.
The side of Clint, it's a trade kind of hero, right? You don't really want to go for these all-ins early on, and same goes for the Lilia. It's going to be really good. Lilia and Clint, this matchup will be heavily favored towards the side of Lilia because of the wave clear and that trade pressure.
Which means you're going to have Oh My Venus visit Clint. We've seen Oeb do this. We've seen him like breeze through the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then next thing you know, he's just chipping away at turrets.
Absolutely. So that's going to be the question here. What do Onic Philippines want to respond that with, right? Blacklist, they are going to put Venus on that gold lane, just basically babysitting as usual for the Filipino sniper. But for Onic PH, they have a lot of options here. They can go and try to do the same thing, help out Marky, or they can go to the bottom side as well, help out Delarski on the Esmeralda. Again, it's a winning lane going up against a Uranus, all right? Uranus won't be able to do anything until he hits that level 4. And even then, it's going to be very easy for them to look for dives with the Lancelot and the Matilda.
Maybe if they can abuse that, that will be great because eventually the Uranus will have a better time macro-wise. Then again, for the side of Onic Philippines, they want to engage. They can use the Falling Star when eventually in the mid-game as well as the late game. And then, of course, rely on their wave clear for all of those split pushing or macro mechanics coming up from the side of Onic Philippines. So this is a very interesting dynamic. Both teams having straight up win conditions, and I think that this is the time where you say it's definitely a 50-50 between these two teams.
It's a spike. They have to be aware of that level 4 spike on the side of Onic PH, but then Blacklist answers back with a more defensive role, because that's when the Mountain Shocker comes in. That's when they actually have their disengage tools come online. But just the same, you have to consider the Uranus is going to scale up as quickly, maybe it should try to scale up faster than the Esmeralda so they can do that neutralization. They can do the isolation play. So yeah, it's all about timing. Onic time, they definitely want to snowball. Blacklist, let's see how they're going to answer back. Here we go, back into the map.
All right, I gotta say this though. Onic, they have just been... That catchphrase, the tag is so catchy, man.
Yeah, I agree.
What time is this? Onic time. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a watch sponsor later on for MPL Season 9.
Makes me wonder though, as we first saw that with the opening, right? But Baloyski, just some pokes coming out in the mid lane, and we know that Rafael as well as Farsa is so strong when it comes to like poking.
Just as we said it, man.
We were talking about this, the Lilia winning that lane matchup. First Blood brought to you by Razor. Wolf, you were saying?
Wow, yeah, it's just all about the pokes, but in top lane, they already have the big poke coming out, but Dilarski.
Oh, a little too deep. Again, it's both teams playing off of different timings. They know that that was the original plan, so they're playing off of their pace. Tempo going over here to Onic PH, but by a very small margin. Oh, my Venus looking low. Kyrie gets hit. Oh, he's going to be dashed through with a puncture. Pinned down with that Bolas, and there you go. Thorn Rose keeping him in.
Again, Onic Philippines now with the winning lanes, it's going to be really good for them to look for plays on the map, and this is exactly what they need to keep on doing. Look at Dilarski. He's basically taking all the resources, trying to force Wise to be uncomfortable in his own jungle, and Onic Philippines, they can look for a fight here. Even though Kyrie has lost a lot of HP, they still have the resources, and there you go. Blacklist, they can't contest without the winning lanes.
Yep, 4 members here. Oh, up top, another one! Marky gives OM his second death in 2 minutes.
This is insane. We spoke about this matchup, but I didn't expect it to be 2 solo kills in the first 2 minutes, man. This is going to be really good. Onic Philippines are just going to have to capitalize to this constantly, but Blacklist, they need an answer quick.
No, they're making All My Venus very busy. It's like a very hectic day for All My Venus as he needed to kind of answer to the turtle fight, which wasn't really reset by Onic Philippines. And then because of that movement, he didn't have the time to actually help OM, and there goes the second kill from Marky into the top lane.
Edward gonna spot him out. Retribution on Kyrie, on point, taking this one. Turtles Lane brought to you by the STB. You boys are right. They're gonna try to overload the Queen, and just because of their sheer mechanics and the damage they're putting on so early, 3 minutes in, they're ahead now by 1K. Let's look at the items.
Well, it's just building up now, and Marky getting the Enchanted Talisman before the 3-minute mark. That is crazy. And to think that he didn't even have the mystery shop. This is such a good scaling hero. Even when it's a mage, it will put up some damage in the late game. Great wave clear. And with the Enchanted Talisman, he's going to just spam out all of his skills up top. Make sure that Oheb will not have a good time in the early stages of the game.
The thing is, right now, I feel like Onic, yes, you said it, overloading the Queen, but they're not just overloading the Queen, they're overloading every single member from the side of Blacklist except for Haji. Wise having trouble in that jungle. Venus going everywhere on the map, forcing something, and even in the 2v1, it's going to be Marky winning out in these trades. This is not good for the side of Blacklist, but again, it is that 7-minute mark that is all about that ultimate bonding experience, all right? When Blacklist gets that power spike, that's when they start to roll again. But they need to be able to stay consistent in the early stages. It won't matter that 7 minutes, yes, it's a power spike, but if Onic Philippines can just get the huge lead, it won't go to Blacklist at all.
Baloyski got them Spirit Blooms. He's lethal. He feels it. Going cut back through the jungle. Haji. It's interesting how much Onic PH has rotated and how every time Blacks International might have been a second or two too late, which resulted in this small lead. 20 seconds to the next turtle. Edward getting pinned here by Dilarski and Kyrie falling Star Moon onto that wave. This is a very low kill score game compared to a lot of what we've seen in the playoffs. Right now, look at this. 3 onto Edward. He's looking for refuge. Oh, he's gonna let go of this turret down here. Oh, up top! Marky gets blasted by Haji, maximum range. He's fine.
He's fine. He was able to clear the waves as well, but Oh My Venus will go for the reset.
This is the Onic Philippines special, the banana split once again coming into game number 1. Look at how they're playing the map. They have all these winning lanes. It's going to be hard. Even though Blacklist goes up, Marky, that is why they picked up the Lilia instead of the Luna. So powerful.
Yep, they didn't need the spike. Here we go. Second turtle up already. Edward putting a few stacks onto the 3 members here. Kyrie dashing on through the wall. He's just moving around. There's a better air strike. Still Kyrie on point. getting the second turtle of the game, while Hatred puts up a lead wall.
Did you see how Kyrie just danced through it, just used the reset the factor coming out from both the puncture as well as the Phantom Execution, even using the Thorn Rose as an iframe source so that he will not be hit by some of the skill shots of Blacklist International. It's amazing to watch, and they also secured the turtle for that, and Onic PH really just taking over the map in the first 5 minutes of the game.
That's why they call him the future, man. Onic Philippines right now, just forcing their gameplay onto Blacklist. 2 more minutes, technically 1 more minute right now to that power spike for the ultimate bonding experience. But at this point, I don't feel like they're going to be able to do anything with that. Onic Philippines, they can just continually, basically stop the fights from happening based on the pressure they have on the side lanes.
Slowly, something tells me Blacklist may have found the Achilles heel. Maybe by attacking mid, they can actually bear down onto Hatred, but might not be as easy a plan because of how much bottom lane was opened up by Dilarski. But look, there's movements up here. They're waiting. Oh, my Venus finds Marky. Circle Eagle. Oh, bye, Baloyski. They let go underneath the turret. They're pinning down Oe, but White Venus. Look at Kyrie from the back. Gets stunned by the Holy Baptism. Forward flicker by Hatred. Takes down Oheb. There's another fight down bottom. Dilarski taken down by Wise. It's a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
It is, but what we gotta take a look at is the side of Onic Philippines. The way they get the kills is they translate it to instant objectives, whereas Blacklist, they're struggling to keep up in the objective side of the game. Onic Philippines, yes, 3-1. The kill board isn't that much, but look at the turrets. 2 turrets, 2 turtles. This is why Onic Philippines have been able to dominate that gold lane, the pure control of the objectives in the game.
And it's crazy to think that Onic PH, after, Marky really dancing with them. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Onic Philippines, after getting a kill up top, they put both Hatred as well as Baloyski back to the mid lane because there was a fresh kill of that and they defended.
Oh, wait, Marky may have bitten off more than he could chew. Edward with the flicker forward Ionic Edge. Hatred punishes him almost immediately, circling Eagle onto Oheb. Not enough damage, brings it down. Kyrie puncturing on through. He's lashing, he's dashing, kills him with the Phantom Execution. Down goes the Filipino sniper.
It looked like it was going to be bad for Kyrie when he missed that Thorn Rose, but on the bottom side, Wise picks up a kill and they are getting some kills on the board. But again, these turrets are going to be crucial. Look at the map. All the tier 1s taken down. Only a 2-kill lead for Onic, but look at the goal. 2,000 already.
Oh my goodness. And looking at Onic PH, it kind of feels like they're really putting into heart this win condition of shutting down OF. 0-4-1 on the Filipino sniper as Onic Philippines have taken over this gold lane and might be looking to control this turtle as well.
Oh, charge out of the Soul Blooms. There's the Phantom Execution still kept in check by Kyrie. It's off of cooldown. They'll put up a wall here. Real damage! And there's the Black Shoes. Marky does not want to bite off more than he could chew. They're blasting Edward. All 3 turtles so far taken by Onic.
Ooh, did you see that tag team coming out from Onic PH? They poked Oh My Venus, and that's great, right? Because Onic Philippines, if they poke Blacklist International, they had to go back. And then afterwards, Marky eventually gets there, again forcing skills out of Oh My Venus. That flicker as well as the Holy Baptism, not available in a turtle fight, meant that it's free for Onic PH.
But look at that, Wolf. Actually, Kyrie, he didn't go for the, he went for the OR axe and instantly, guess what the second item is? It's a Hunter Strike for this Lancelot. Very, very interesting build coming in for Kyrie. That is a snowballing build. He wants to keep it rolling. He wants the kills to keep on coming.
He wants to make like their mascot. He wants to go fast.
Well, wants to go. It might be that he is rushing.
Gets caught. Kyrie stunned. Maybe a little too much. Phantom Execution. Iframes on point. The Kyrie killer Kyrie survives.
My goodness. The last time I saw the Hunter Strike was, correct me if I'm wrong, Albert actually played it, Mirko, and
he played that on Paquito though.
That is, of course, that's one of the builds. But yeah, I did see the Hunter Strike on the Lancelot, but it is true. It's dependent on snowballing. And so far, Onic PH, they're on track for the snowballs, in fact. But this lead, 2.6k, they should not be comfortable with this because if you're looking at Blacklist International, there's decent defense on them through this Barca as well as this Clint.
Mountain Shocker set up. Blacklist International aware of everyone, and that's going to be Wise. Putting a few beads onto Baloyski. Up top, Edward getting blasted by Hatred. And in comes Kyrie. Hatred secures a kill.
Yeah, again, Onic Philippines is so good at splitting up the map, but at this point, look, they are stopping their game. Blacklist, even though you're looking at the kills, yes, it is still favoring Onic Philippines. They are still the ones with map pressure. But look, that is when Blacklist start to come free here. When those tier 1 turrets get taken down, a lot of teams struggle to get the tier 2s because of how good Blacklist International basically manipulate these waves, go for the team fights, and secure the vision in their own jungle. Usually when tier 1s are taken down, that's when the opposing team can just push in your jungle. But Blacklist, they know how to do this. They know how to open up a map very, very well. And this is exactly what you're seeing from them.
Well, just make sure Onic PH don't give up your mid lane turret. That's having their focus. And just did Kyrie just baiting through Blacklist International. But then again, it still is very difficult for Onic PH to kind of push, because if you're looking at their composition, only Hatred can actually hit turrets. Apart from that, they need to go melee against all these turrets.
Baloyski enters a lethal death push, gets caught by a holy baptism. Kyrie dashing on through. He's used his puncture. His Phantom execution. Blast-wise, Haji answers back with a feathered airstrike, taking one out on the way. Oheb trading out via Baloyski 1-for-1 so far. Both teams disengaged.
That's going to be very worth it for the side of Onic PH. They got the jungler for the roamer. And one thing I wanted to touch on this before that fight came up. It's going to be really easy for Onic PH in these team fights. Why? Because all they need to do is target Wise, all right? Wise is the only one with kills on the board. It's time to take a look at the replay and look at what they do. Exactly that, targeting only Wise in these team fights.
And you gotta have to look at Haji, the way he used the flicker to get out of the zone of Kyrie. And then Kyrie also trying to outplay Haji with the Thorn Rose to dodge some of the feathered airstrike, then gets out of the zone of the feathered airstrike. Such mechanics from, former, I would say, the rivals in the jungler role.
Man, again, you see from the kills, 5 total kills for Blacklist, 3 of them picked up by Wise, all right? So this is going to be the fact of the matter. Onic Philippines, all they need to do is shut Wise down. Oheb is so behind, he basically does no damage at this point.
I was about to bring that up. This whole time, we've left Oheb for what, 5 minutes now? I'm guessing his items must be in void, must have caught up. But Onic PH, they have a different plan. They're starting up this Lord already. Edward trying to get a visual. Oh my Venus, poising up. This wall here, this bush is dangerous. In goes Marky, eats a few wolves.
Kyrie.
Look at this area from the back line. Wise taking down again. Baloyski traded out. Kyrie falls, and they're still going. They're still deep in. Delarski dancing around Oheb. And that's going to be Edward flickering on out. They're not done. Oheb, he smells blood. He wants to take down Hatred. And they're far too deep in. They disengage. That was an interesting 2-for-2.
What a great 2-for-2. I mean, we know that Blacklist International excels in these kind of clashes, as they really, really have mastered this Lord fight, and that is what we saw in their series against BTK. They have really bodied BTK in these Lord fights, and so far it has been good. And Onic, interesting decision to actually go for heroes instead of focusing on the Lord after them starting the Lord themselves.
We need to talk about the win conditions coming in for both of the teams. Onic PH, look at their heroes. They are ability-based heroes. They are a one and done, all right? They're a hit-and-run composition, whereas Blacklist, they want these fights to go a long distance, maybe all the way to that final moment. Look at their heroes, 2 Marksman and Farsa. These are continuous abilities, continuous basic attacks coming in, they always, you know? So Onic, what they want to do is go for the hard engage to the back line, destroy that back line, and back away, instantly go for an objective, whereas Blacklist, they want to keep on fighting.
Haji's been just so good with this hero.
Oh, there we go. They're going to come in. They find one. Edward gets jumped on. Circling Eagle. And the jump in by Delarski. That's going to be the passion. And the holy healing, saving the rest of Blacklist International. Edward's not done. He wants more. They know that they're going for the Lord. Both teams, they know that they have to do this very, very quickly. Edward putting a few stabs onto the back. They take down Oheb. Kyrie gets a dash in. Trading out for Baloyski. That's a win for Onic. Mountain Shocker making sure that it's safe to disengage. Kyrie still pressuring Edward, and it's a clean go. That's Blacklist back on the map, taking a mid lane tier 1.
Remember what I said, prolonged fights is gonna favor Blacklist International. Onic PH, with this composition, they need to go for the hard lockdown. If not, Blacklist, look what they're able to do. They get 2 turrets off of a fight that was 1-for-1.
Amazing, amazing recovery coming up from Blacklist International, as they did lose an important hero, and that's Oheb. However, with just the decision-making coming up from Blacklist International was just really good, and they disengaged against Onic PH, healed himself up, get away from the zone of those dominant sides, those anti-heals coming out from Onic PH, then fight again. And it really looked wonderful for Blacklist International. They want to go for top, though.
Oh, Kyrie just at the nick of time. Phantom execution out. Mountain Shocker, he's not out of the woods just yet. Oh, Blacklist International, they've built up the confidence. I think they're ready. A very, very small gold lead, 800 you can say. That's Blacklist International starting up the Lord. Edward drawing a perimeter. The Enforcer, the Muscle, keeping all the other members of Onic PH down. Oh, Boloyski put down to his lowest and taken down by Wise. That's a one-man advantage for the side of Blacklist. Haji popping the feathered airstrike. Marky looking low. Marky as well flickering on up. No more black shoes here. Oh, they go in. Edward slain right before he can take out Marky. That's 1 for 1 so far. Hatred getting blasted here. And there's an Ibir's Passion. Wise coming up for the re-engage. That's a jump back. Haji, he's going to look for one. Blasting him. There's a feathered airstrike to the face. Wise secures the kill. It's a 1 for 3 so far. And they take the Lord.
Oh my God, Onic Philippines, they were so disconnected in that, and the punishment was there for Blacklist International. And unfortunately, Kyrie went for the wraparound, did not hit the Phantom Execution onto Haji. That's why Haji was able to just run away and punish him for his transgressions. And Onic PH have lost so much of their lead. Blacklist International taking the Enhanced Lord, meaning to say they now have map control.
This is the refined Blacklist that we were all talking about back in the BTK matchup. Blacklist, look at how well they're able to play. Onic Philippines, for the first few minutes, were the ones pushing their playstyle onto Blacklist, but they did not crack. They waited up until that Ube strat could work. It didn't work in the 7 minutes because they were so behind, but now, look at these items, look at these heroes. They finally scaled up through the farming on the cross-map plays, and they are the ones pushing Onic Philippines to play their way. They have nowhere to go at this point. They can only follow Blacklist tempo.
I put a name to this when we saw it happen against BTK. It was called the rubber banding effect. Blacklist was rubber banding, and they were just waiting, and now this is their game to lose. Look at this. Luminous Lord marching down through bottom. They are setting it up. Feathered airstrike blasted on the 4 members of Onic PH, and they're going to take that inhibitor down bottom. Look at the discipline. Catching one. Dilarski with the Holy Baptism. Mid's going to get taken down as well. Oheb takes it. The Filipino sniper. Pew, pew.
This is going to be insane right now. Look, the 2,000 goalie for Onic Philippines, it felt like it didn't even exist at this point. 4,000 for Blacklist. They're cracking in the base.
Look at this calculated assault. Wise coming in, threatening the passive tick onto Marky, and they're still here. They are not letting go. They know that there's ults on the side of Blacklist International, and they give full respect. Mount Shocker keeping him in place. They might try to look for a kill here onto Dilarski. He's low, down to a third of his health. Circling eagle by Boloyski into the back line. He's going to get punished. Kyrie. Immortality. Looking for Kyrie. He's looking for heads. There's a feathered airstrike. Wise goes down. 2 go down, 1 for 1 so far. And Dilarski jumping on. That's going to be another one taken down. Haji from Boloyski. And it's Edward. He's running. He's buying time. Here comes Oheb. And Oh My Venus going to go for the fire back. That's Marky catching a bullet. Boloyski, he's still going to go down. The Filipino sniper gets ahead. Marky pops the black shoes. He's okay. 3-on-3 still inside Onic PH's base.
This is insane. The prolonged fights once again with Oheb just standing in that back line. And look how this fight is going to go again.
Oh, they're still going. Holy Baptism catches Dilarski, and he's still dancing around, giving him shields and taking down the Queen. Popping the Immortality and the Nibiru's Passion. Point blank, Marky secures the kill. Edward and Oheb may have overstayed their welcome. They disengage. There's a heal from Edward. He's still pushing his luck. He's still going. Dilarski gonna dance around. Both of them still have immortalities. We get a reset.
18 minutes in, and what a game do we have on our hands. Look at the scoreboard. Dead even, 13-14. 2,000 gold lead though for the side of Blacklist. Now what Onic needs to do is, again, target that back line. It's very easy to say. It's very hard to do considering the front line and the peel from the side of Blacklist. Look at the items right now. What can you see?
Oh, well, I can see that there is Wind of Truncheon on the side of Hatred, and they're freshly picked up Wind of Nature for both Wise and Hatred. This was fresh off Wise, and this is perfect against Hatred as well as Kyrie. As we can see that Kyrie really would like to go for Wise all the time.
Goes in, circling eagle on to Wise. A false engage. Dilarski goes back with the Falling Star Moon. Edward pushing them back.
Oh, this is Onic PH. I wonder why they popped that. Maybe they're just threatening for kills as Kyrie is just waiting for farm onto the other side of the map. But Blacklist International, they do have the advantage of all of the minions just pressing against Onic PH without the inhibitor turret.
At this point of the game, Onic Philippines, they need to micromanage so many things, you know? 3 lanes basically constantly going to be pushing in with those super minions activated from those inhibitors as now Lord spawns by TikTok Live. how are they going to contest for this? Blacklist, they are better in the prolonged fights, in the poke division as well. Onic will need to pull out some crazy fights, maybe even some miracle plays to be able to make that happen.
Miracle plays. We'll see if Onic PH is known for that, but Blacklist International, they're so composed.
Circling Eagle onto one. They might get it off of this odd entry by Edward, but they're not going to let that happen. Not so easily. Mountain Shocker, you always have to remember, Blacklist International has that one tool to know exactly where everyone is. So the wraparound, that isolated catch, not so easy.
Again, Onic Philippines forcing these out, you know. Like you said, this is what they do. And literally right now, 20 minutes in, they need to keep on forcing this because look at the build-ups in the waves. From the bottom side, Marky, oh my god.
Marky, Mountain Shocker, everything is a threat here right now. The range game on Blacklist International is huge as they take the Lord in the blink of an eye. Onic, no time to respond. Dilarski gets the Immortality Bomb. Circling Eagle by Beloisi, keeping Edward in check. Down goes the Esmeralda. Wise takes the kill. And right now, even Hatred suffers a death. Down goes the Beatrix. The Filipino sniper gets one. Kyrie falls as well. It's only Marky left. The Lord and Blacklist marching into their base. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves game number 1. Marky goes. Blacklist takes it 1-0.
Again, the Lord fight. I think that this game will go for either Haji or Edward. Edward was able to just make sure that Onic PH is in check and they know where they are. They don't even need to pop the Mountain Shocker to know where the members of Onic PH are. It's just that Edward is keeping tabs of it, and Haji, this guy smiling because I would say he carried this game. The way he uses his ultimate just to disrupt and maybe burst the squishy members of Onic PH was just phenomenal.
It's the simple plays that come in from Blacklist International that really makes the difference here. You don't need flashy plays. All you need to do is stick to that textbook. They know their win conditions entirely. When the draft was set, they knew what we had to do. First 5 minutes, never gonna go our way. If we try to force the tempo, we're gonna lose. Sure, I'll just keep on farming. Wise, he was disrupted so many times in the jungle. Didn't let that get into his head. He stayed composed. He waited for the time. When he got those item power spikes, you can see the level that he brought onto these team fights. They were able to force every single one. And the name of the game for game 1 is forced errors. Blacklist, with that pressure, with the tempo shifting over, they were able to push it through Onic PH.
It's the Blacklist rubber band scoring them the first victory in game number 1. Let's throw it over to our analysts, Gideon Q and LaFell. Break it down.
Thanks so much, Leo. Appreciate it as always. But back here at the analyst stand with the two smartest here once again. LaFell, we have to talk about this a little bit more because, again, even though it is going to be an all-Filipino finals, there still are mistakes being made here.
Yeah, but first we have to look at a few things. Number one is the draft. Coming from the side of Onic Philippines, they are a little bit faster because they are more focused on the early game tempo. However, moving later stages of the game, once we have 4 items, then it's time for Blacklist International to really control the map. And then speaking of mistakes, Onic Philippines, there were a lot of engages that was actually countered by the side of Blacklist International just being a little bit better in terms of timing on how they capitalize on the engages coming in from Onic.
But that's the thing, right, LaFell? When you have such a complicated overall draft where your win conditions are mainly to be playing for this early game, we see time and time again, it feels like Blacklist is able to kind of bring, hold them back. But what we cannot hold back, we can't stop talking about the Razer Hammerheads here. Guys, if you haven't heard about it, you gotta cop one for yourself because the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless are cutting-edge earbuds destined to dominate the sound stage. Designed to dazzle in a blaze of RGB glory, the Hammerhead is decked out with active noise-canceling 60 ms low-latency gaming mode for an audio experience never seen or heard before. Head on over to Razer.com to learn a little bit more about it and make sure you get your pair today. Now, coming back to this once more, simplification compared to overcomplicating things, I feel like generally it feels like on brand. Like everybody got their comfort picks for either side of the teams.
Not just comfort picks, but also how they play the game, because we have to remember that Onic Philippines, they like to play the macro game. They like to move around the map. Where from the side of Blacklist, they like to move in together because they play the team fight game much better. And if we saw in terms of how they play in the highlights, look at how much damage they were able to juggle around together. And right now, again, we're gonna look at the draft. Coming in, this is the more important part, is that Marky, Hatred, as well as Kyrie, the heroes that they've been using, our casters were asking about the Hunt Strike, and again, this is just the way that they play. They want to be a little bit faster, they want to catch Blacklist off guard. but they missed time in terms of taking the objectives. They should have been a little bit faster because Beatrix mid, clear the lane fast, move on. Marquis wins the lane, clear the lane fast, move on. Same thing with Kyrie. But again, Blacklist, they were able to slow it down, mostly because Uranus as well as Farsa.
Yeah, Edward just doing a really good job at kind of just buffering, sandbagging in the lanes, as people like to call it. But most importantly, I think Haji not only was playing for the macro sense, some of his plays have really caught some of the members from Onic PH side off guard, getting a lot of free kills.
Yeah, and especially because of that winter truncheon. A lot of times you see like Kyrie trying to dive to the backline, try to kill him off, but once he has that winter truncheon, then he's going to be sitting there for quite a while, and the rest of Blacklist and National, they can just focus him down. And another point of contention is Oheb. In the early game, he was focused, but mid-stage and late stages of the game, he was basically untouched, being able to dish a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, Oheb dealt the most, 107,000.
Yeah, and despite having a start of 1-4 and one really rough laning phase, I totally get where you're coming from here. But overall, when we're looking to damage the towers, Blacklist is going to be taking the cake. Even though we're looking at the score of 18-14, a lot of these fights have been quite 50-50.
50-50 in mid-game. Later stages in the game, then it becomes a whole lot different. On the Philippines, when they were playing inside their own base, the only way that they can really cover is because of Lilia covering, you know, like destroying the minions and such. But coming into the late game, then Blacklist, they have this, you know, in the bag because they have a lot of scale in their composition, and that is why it's great. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It really is crazy. And I think for the most part of it, let's keep in mind that the compositions had two very clear ideas. But it's time to announce our MVP of this game, giving it over to Oheb, despite having one of the hardest starts possible, able to bring it back for his team with a 5-5-10 KDA, 83% KP.
Yeah, honestly, being able to play from behind, that's amazing, because playing from ahead, that's super easy. It's like, yeah, I have the gold lead, I have the EXP lead, I will deal more damage. But from behind, having to find your own farm and making sure that you are super strong in the late game, and again, dealing the most damage, over 100,000 damage. Oheb doing a lot for his team, but again, this is the clash of styles. On the Philippines, they play good, they play very, very well. It's just that they didn't push it fast enough.
That's the thing. I don't know about you, but personally, that's why I'm leaning more to Blacklist overall, to be able to kind of over-encompass and, more importantly, simplify their style to make sure that they punish Onic.
Yeah, again, we have to see who controls the tempo, because honestly, throughout M3, that is the most common word that we've been using. Who can control the tempo better, then they will actually dictate how the pace is being made, and then they will win.
Who are you supporting here this time around, LaFell?
I'm still looking at Onic because, again, they played it well, and I feel like this is just one of those situations where they can understand where the problem lies, and then they can recover from it.
I get you, because I'm supporting Blacklist this time around. And who are you at home going to be supporting? Because with the M3 battle emote still up for sale, you can cop one today and flex in game all your support for your favorite teams here, especially for the Filipinos out there. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get one, because again, we've prepared some exclusive battle emotes for all 16 teams, and with each battle emote, it has their own voiceover, so get them now and support your favorite teams while you still can. I don't want people to regret and be like, ah, man, I should have got it earlier, even though I just turned into a fan. Just save yourself the time, save yourself the effort, get it now while you still can, and most importantly, between the both of us, we'll see. We'll see how Game 2 is going to go. Let's throw it over to our casters at the desk to see how Game 2 is going to play out. Leo, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Gideon, Q, and LaFell, explaining exactly what happened in game number 1 and awarding our MVP, Oheb. Welcome back to the desk. My name is Leo, at your service, joined by Wolf and Mirko. Gentlemen, that went the distance. I mean, we hit TikTok timers.
Yep.
There were some outs for both teams, but eventually Blacklist found the W.
Yeah, we could see that the start was really good for the side of Onic PH. They have this early game composition courtesy of the Lancelot, led by the Lancelot, which was the Lilia, and then of course that mid lane Beatrix. Naturally, these heroes don't scale as much. That's why in the latter portions of the game, we see that the Clint as well as the Yi Shen just trumped over that, and we can see this dynamic between both Esmeralda and Uranus. Uranus being the better positional tool and better macro tool, in the late game, which almost always trumps the initiation coming out from Esmeralda.
Well put. I mean, besides Oheb's Clint, I'd say that Uranus on Edward would have been a great MVP as well. And you at home can be the MVP of both skill and style with the Frank debit card. Out of over 60 designs, pick the one that screams your personality or your dreams. Once more, thank you to Frank by OCBC. Mirko, let's look back around and throw it over to Onic this time around. How do they come back from this? It was a well-fought match. It slipped right from their grasp.
Honestly, at this point, the thing is, yes, Onic Philippines, they made a few mistakes in that game, but it was all because Blacklist played a perfect one. They forced these mistakes to happen onto Onic Philippines. What Onic needs to do is possibly get more aggressive, because the time that they spent going for all that setup for the tier 1s, it was perfect. But after that, they kind of fell flat. They didn't want to engage. They didn't want to risk their gold lead, and that's where they fell, all right? If you don't risk anything, you're not going to get anywhere in this game. You need to be able to invade the jungle, take away some of the resources, and force-wise, once again, to just not be a threat here. As long as he doesn't get farmed, that's all you need. Or when he uses Retribution so that you can set up for the Lord.
Maybe we're actually giving Onic a little too much to work with. There might be too many duties because 1, yeah, watch Edward. 2, watch Uranus, watch that offlaner, watch Wise. 3, watch Oheb, but also I think we have folks watching over Miwatch. What's up? You guys have been with us since the 6th of December. Now is the last day. We're about to crown another champion. By watching, you can win various in-game rewards, and of course, thank you so much again for joining us. What are you waiting for? Switch on over to Miwatch and check us out as we duke out between 2 Filipino teams vying for that back-to-back championships. We were saying, maybe be a little more bold. Is that exactly what might have not worked out for Onic?
It is easy to say because of the fact that they have Lancelot as well as the Matilda, right? But then again, if you're looking at how Blacklist played it, they made sure that in the mid-game where it all mattered, that they weren't forced as much. And I think that you can also give it to how Haji played it. He was able to punish the positioning on the side of Onic PH and become a nuisance. Not only that, he also baited so much coming out from Onic PH. I think that from minute 7 up until the last minute of the game, it was Blacklist International just turning it up and flipping the switch to bait mode because they were just luring Onic PH to their position, to their part of the map, and then they reset, right? You saw that so many times. When somebody gets jumped by Baloyski, all of them together, as if they're controlled by a hive mind, just go back to their own base, and when Baloyski's already out of position, that's where they peel. And then it took so many tries for Onic PH only to make it to the point where their mistake was so bad that it gave the Lord to the side of Blacklist.
And that was a turning point. That one huge objective turned the tides.
You need to take a look at their mentality as well here, all right? Because this is going to be the first loss outside of the group stage, all right? Based in the playoffs. This is the first loss that Onic Philippines have. You know, this is insane, actually. Now
Their
that I think about it.
second loss throughout the whole World
tournament.
Championship.
Exactly. Game loss, by the way. So, again, this mentality-wise, how is it going to affect them? I did meet Baloyski just now in the restroom. He seemed pretty okay. He seemed really... Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Onic Philippine crew right now, they are all smiles, all right? So I really like that about them. They're chill. And we need to see more of that right now for the side of Onic PH. They need to stay composed. And what is most important is they need to understand their win conditions. Push in when they have the gold lead. Don't be scared. They're playing that game not to lose, you know? They didn't go for the win. They were just playing not to lose.
Yep. I also saw on the way to what we did during the break, Mirko as well as Leo. I see Kyrie actually stayed in the stage. I think that him and Coach Yeb were actually discussing something maybe about because I think I see him like warming up once again. Maybe he wants to play that Lancer once again. Onic PH is
maybe that's why.
Shin as well as the Yu Zhong straight up answered this Marsa. It was a problem in game 1, and now they have been trying to solve it.
Exactly. This is what I like from Onic PH. This is what I said should have happened in game number 1. All right, aside from the Yisun Shin, right? Maybe that's why he stayed on stage. He was like, Coach, you put me on these high mechanical heroes. I can play Yisun Shin as well, all right? So, Yu Zhong, this is going to be the name of the game right now. Haji was one of the main contributing factors to the victory that Blacklist was able to get. Now with the Yu Zhong, it is going to make it much harder for this Farsa to be a factor in this team fight.
Yep, I really like these 2 picks from Onic as well. 1, throwing back. 2, the Yisun Shin wallbang by Kyrie from earlier in the playoffs. That was amazing. And number two, just the way Dilarski plays this Yu Zhong, not only in the world stage, but even back in MPL Philippines Season 8. He would just draw lines across the map, man. He would say where you can and can't go, and it answers that Farsa so well.
Well, loving the Barrett's pick for Blacklist International was banned out by Onic PH, one of their go-to heroes for both Edward as well as Wise. It's a flex pick as well. One thing that we can expect from Blacklist International is that this Farsa as well as Rafaela will be the mid-lane duo for Blacklist International. And let's see how Onic PH will actually answer this. Lancelot will not be picked up anymore, as the Yisun Shin is the jungler of choice for Onic PH, which means that our Onic PH might go full macro once again. Maybe they want to go back to these wave clear heroes like Lilia, for example, but played in the mid lane.
Your
shout out to
team is
Ducky,
banning.
though.
Coach Ducky, all right. Onic Philippines, though, now with the Natan pickup as well. Now, look at these picks for the side of Onic PH. They might just be targeting Ohem here, all right? Beatrix and Clint has been left open here in the first phase. I think this is the first time in a very long time.
I guess they're more confident this time around because they have the Yu Zhong. So far, Lolita has been snubbed in this series, which has been the flavor of the tournament thus far. And the fact that they're leaving these open means maybe they have the clear answer. And you're looking at it right here. It's that dragon. It's the Yu Zhong. Onic PH takes out the Brody. I'm guessing maybe this other one might be another targeted ban, and then they go from there.
Yep, with the Brody as well as the Clint, the considerations for bans from Onic PH, but knowing Blacklist International, they can still go back to something like an Alice. Although Blacklist International, that is definitely one of the heroes that play on OM, but not really the best choice. Now, this is what I like from, this is what I actually expected from Onic PH to do. Last pick the Baloyski hero, or maybe second phase pick that hero. That Matilda, as good as it is, it's one of those best heroes, right? But you can't do that against Blacklist International. These playmakers from the role should not be countered by Blacklist International, because you can see we're baited by that Matilda.
And looking at it from a macro standpoint, maybe game one, Onic PH was too honest. Maybe they revealed their cards too soon, and Blacklist, even from the blue side, was able to draft around it. Looking at this last ban by Onic, of course, it's going to be the Phoveus. Gotta respect that hero on Edward.
Beatrix is still available, so is Clint. They ban both Joe as well as this Natalia, the three heroes that gave this Onic PH his unbeatable campaign in the upper bracket, now banned out by Blacklist International. Are we looking for another Lilia pick? They still go back to the Matilda.
But maybe it's better this time around.
Yes. Woo. That's what I was gonna go for here right now. Matilda, now that you have the Yu Zhong that can dive, the Yisun Shin that can dive and kite away, it is gonna be really good for the Matilda, adding again some sort of disengage, some sort of engage. This is a complete hero, right? When we're talking about Matilda, she can do it all. But let's see, Blacklist, they have the chance to pick up either a Beatrix or a Clint, and also the jungler. What jungler do they want to go for? Perhaps, maybe we've already seen the jungler here, the Barretts.
Yeah, I agree. So you still have like Paquito, and well, sometimes Blacklist International goes for Lapu Lapu, because this really looks like a good Lapu Lapu game against both Nathan as well as Yisun Shin.
Oh yeah.
Another option is that Glue, but it's probably not the priority. Yep. Again, Beatrix is still there. Go back to the Uranus. I think Onic PH can go back to Lunox. The difference, though, is that they don't have the best wave clear in the world against a potential snowball from Blacklist. This is Rafaela plus Barats. They want to push and push and push. So now, if you're Onic PH, you're looking to answer either the tankiness of both Barats as well as Lunox, or just answer the wave clear. Either way, they will have to choose only one.
My problem with the Lunox is it feels a little slow. Onic PH, they're gonna have to use a huge chunk of the guiding winds to really position that Lunox, or else once again it might be the same story as game one all over again, wherein they isolate one and then it all just crumbles. Let's see if they're gonna fall for it. Instead, no. Is this what I think it is? I think is this mid money? Is this mid money?
Not entirely sure.
Paquito mid.
Hatred?
It's Paquito mid.
No, it's not. You're right. Is this a throwback to season 8? Are they switching it up like that?
It's a throwback to season 7, man, when Paquito was like used everywhere, right? As a roamer, as But very interesting pickup here. I mean, technically, yes, it is going to be really good in that mid lane, getting some pressure then, and obviously Farsa will be pressured constantly. But what we do need to look at from the side of Blacklist is that they don't have a reliable source of engage. They are really they're relying on Onic Philippines to dive them first, you know?
Yep.
Going in for the Rafaela kite back, going again for those prolonged fights, whereas for Onic PH, they also kind of strive in these long fights with the Yu Zhong, the Yi Sun Shin, and especially the Natan.
Yep, and if we're looking at Blacklist International though, their lack of engage did not lose them the game in game number 1.
Yep.
They're actually masters of this, luring tactics where they bait out Onic PH. This time though, after game 1, Onic PH, will they actually be forced into those kinds of situations? Will they be lured again by Blacklist International as we head into another pause?
An intermission before we go ahead and get into the map. Fellas, I'm not sure. I don't recall. Who was playing which? Was it confirmed?
Yes, it has been confirmed. Hatred, the one on that Paquito. Very, very interesting. Once again, I agree with you. I'm just as confused as you, but we need to take a look at why possibly this might have happened. Going up against Blacklist International, the one thing that they lacked in that first game is that gap closer, all right? They didn't have anyone, technically not gap closer, but lockdown, all right? With Paquito, it adds both. You have the knockdown, you have the knock-off strike that can lock down these enemies in place, and that gap closer that you really, really need. And guess what? Onic Philippines, it's not like they're just changing their gameplay 100%. They also have that siege that they really want to go for. The Yi Sun Shin and Natan is going to add so much to that banana split that we already know, especially that Mountain Shocker.
Yeah, I think Onic PH, they're playing on the same strengths they had from game number 1, but this time around,
They're refining it.
they're refining it and they're adding more elements that allow them to fight Blacklist on this more fluid team fight style. Yes, game 1, they were more sustained. They wanted to stay in a little longer, maybe last 2 or 3 more ults, but it's very fluid. So is this right? Am I reading this right, Wolf? That Onic wants to fight the same way?
Yeah, fight the same way but in a different approach.
Yes.
Well, that actually is a no if you think about it. But at the same time, it actually helps Onic PH to solve their problems on the go. So for the previous game, it was a one-off wherein if they don't control the early stages of the game, eventually snowball into the mid-game, they will not have any ways to solve their problems. It's just there, and they will have to wait for a mistake from Blacklist International. Whereas this time, it's true that they will engage with the same approach, but this time more solutions if ever something bad happens in the mid stages of the game. This time, we might see the classic banana split. In game number 1, they didn't have any options for that. They were so all in their strategies. It was their snowball and slash death ball kind of strategy, but this time, we see both marksmen and a lot of wave clear, a lot of engage potential as well. But then again, they're generally weaker in the early to the mid stage of the game, which means, my God, we're gonna see the banana split once again.
Honestly, right now, the banana split is going to be a really, really good way to take those early turrets. And also for those neutral objective fights, it's actually going to be really good. Again, yeah, I really like the draft coming in from Onic Philippines, but now let's shift over to Blacklist, all right? Their composition is very much the ultimate bonding experience that we all have come to love and know. But again, it's refined. It feels like they can do much more than just that stick together kind of comp.
Yes, and in the early game, again, Onic has that problem now. But just like in game number 1, they might actually flip the script, and Onic might find more windows where Blacklist have to think on their feet. Because looking at their lineup, yes, there's a Farsa, yes, there's a Beatrix, but they're relatively dull, or there's not much teeth here in the first few minutes, right? You're looking at a Barats, you're looking at a Uranus. Like, they have to pick their fights.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just about the timing of when to pick those fights. Not just about the in-game timer, but with the items that they can have. Imagine if they do get like the Sky Helmet eventually, or the War Axe on this Barats, and then combo it up with the Blade of Despair into the Malefic Roar or Hunter Strike from this, or Demon Hunter Sword, I mean, for this Beatrix, they can tear through all of the turrets and just win the team fights and roll over Onic PH eventually. Then again, they don't have the hard engage. So we'll see. Honestly, the bigger problem that Onic PH will face now is wave clear. They do have wave clear, like Nathan as well as the Paquito, if you think about it, the Yi Sun Shin. But then again, they kind of have to just focus on those minions. They don't have mages like Farsa, Lilia, or or the Eve to actually stop this slow push, slow siege from Blacklist.
Even on a marksman-to-marksman comparison, you have the Nathan versus Beatrix. Beatrix's ults, or even a switch-up of a weapon makes it so much easier. In comparison, Nathan still has to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, you know, I think it's not about the wave clear. I think it's more about the range, right? Because the Farsa, with the Farsa, technically, what you can look for in the sieges is you're able to zone away these marksmen from hitting the minions, right? So it's not about just the pure wave clear. Because honestly, if I'm looking at both of the compositions, they're wave clear, they're both equally good. One has more damage with the abilities, the other one goes for the old-fashioned way, like you mentioned, Leo. But it's all about that range. It's all about these dynamics from both of these matchups. The Farsa will definitely be a huge disability for the Yi Sun-shin and the Natan. But then again, they also have this Yu Zhong. This Yu Zhong that is going to be just such a nuisance once again for the Farsa. It's all going to come down to how they execute these pushes, these sieges, these everything in these team fights as well.
Yep, there's so much value eventually for this Farsa as the first pick for side of Blacklist International. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of hero. When it comes to the mid-lane choices, Farsa has been one of the top priorities for teams because it is a hero that normally doesn't get banned out, and it's actually, you know, it fits almost all of the strategies because of that wave clear as well as the long-range vision that you get out, and there's also a stun. It's just really so much value for Blacklist International. To top it all off, Onic PH went for a double marksman setup, which, you know, Farsa loves to play in those kind of situations.
She just melts him. She just puts him down. But here we go. Wolf just explained exactly why Farsa is so important in the current metagame, as she was years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2, Blacklist International versus Onic PH. It is indeed going to be a mid-lane Paquito, and I feel like it's going to play the same role as a mid-lane Cho without the CC, but more of a re-engaged tool.
Let's see, again, Beloyski is going to be instantly in that top side towards Marky. I mean, this is technically
Look
what
at
you
that.
need. Yeah, all right. Marky's picking up that gold buff, and happy feet.
Yep. You have to time it between the Renner Blast from Oheb, who is very, very good at doing that, stealing things from out of nowhere, from other people's noses. I'm wondering when Venus is going to do the same, when Venus is going to go help out. Actually,
Haji.
not just Haji here as well. It's a 3v1. Marky may have gotten trapped, uses the flicker already, and the stun, and speeding him up, and there's the kill. First blood, brought to you by Razor, goes on over to Oheb.
Yep, very overzealous there, very overextended for Marky. He knew that Beloyski was no longer there. Technically, if Beloyski was still there, they could have gone for something. But again, yeah, Beloyski has other things on his plate. He needs to be able to secure these positions and open up the map. And there you go, Kyrie going into the enemy jungle.
Yep. Well, that's what Weiss also did.
Here comes the swing back. Level 4 Kyrie jumping in. Oheb looking low. Flicker already used up. Hatred dashing in, takes a few hits, and they disengage.
Yep. Might be pressuring the mid lane as well, as look at this Uranus just being a problem against this Yu Zhong. It's actually, when it comes to the Yu Zhong versus the Uranus, what the Uranus can do is just to cut the waves and actually not engage against the Yu Zhong, and might win that fight because of that.
Oh, Black Dragon form used up by Dilarski already. Haji retreating. Turtle secured here by the STB with the help of Kyrie. And that's going to be one down Wise. Traded out for Beloyski. Feather airstrike by Haji. Dilarski taking a few hits, and they go ahead and retreat. Huge trade though, huge swings on the map.
Yeah, that's really good for the side of Blacklist International. Sure, Onic PH, they were able to steal away the turtle. That actually, now I'm it's good for both of them, right? Kyrie getting the assist, getting that turtle, and also just scaling really well right now over than, you know, better than Wise at this point. If you can take a look at the items, he's already building towards, oh, wait a minute.
Venus taken down. You were saying Warax.
Yeah, all right. So he's already building towards that Warax. And again, for Yi Sun-shin, this is one of the crucial items that you need to get early on to secure that. Those stacks are going to matter a lot, that movement speed. In the team fights, in the push, everything you do, it is going to rely on that right now. And Onic Philippines, they need to just keep on scaling until those item power spikes hit.
Yep, which really makes me think that Onic PH will try to play this slowly. As long as they're keeping their turrets, they're fine. Make sure that the mid-lane turret will not be touched by Blacklist International. However, Blacklist International, they're just going to be waiting for their timing as well. Again, if there are 2 items available for Oheb, I'm assuming this will be the Demon Hunter Sword after the Blade of Despair. Combo that up with Haji's damage out from the Clock of Destiny and the Truncheon. the siege potential from Blacklist International, especially with two frontliners, it's gonna be great. And Onic PH, they don't have the wave clear to stop that from happening.
And again, just in that moment earlier, this fight down here, it's a dance-off. It's two very chunky heroes going... In mid, Haji alone, able to fight off 3 and clear the wave. That's how important the Farsa is in this game, and that's how great the wave clear is for Blacklist International at this current stage of the game. 4 minutes in, Onic PH, they want to set something up. They're blasting Haji from the bottom. Kairi, he still has his skateboard, his eponymous skateboard.
Yeah. I think he's waiting for his purple buff, and then the turtle will appear in 3 seconds. Edward most likely will just proxy the wave, just cut it out. Or maybe even join the fight. He's actually coming forward and might be joining the fight.
Watch out. They start with a feathered airstrike. 4 men from Blacklist International set up for the second turtle. Mountain Chakra, they know exactly where everyone is. Delarski coming in with the Black Dragon form, catches the Queen, circling Eagle, answering back, and they catch so many bullets from Oheb. That's going to be 1 down. It's a trade, 2 for 1. Wise, be Wise traded for Delarski, and they're not done. They're not done. Marky tries to blast down Edward, and they disengage. So far, Onic PH able to get away scot-free.
Yeah, and not just that, they get the turtle, and now they're pushing in. Again, remember, Onic PH, they have this composition which is actually kind of weaker here in the early stages. Managing to get the lead is going to be insane. Just going even alone, or maybe even 1,000 gold behind, it's going to be fine for them. But guess what? They are in the lead right now, picking up the good fights, and look at how they're playing these team fights. Perfection. The winning condition really shining through here for Onic.
And that's because of this Yu Zhang coming up from Delarski. He did die in the clash, but he would manage to find Wise as well as Oh My Venus, and then eventually shut down Haji from popping off that feathered airstrike, and now they are beating him indeed.
They're finding him, and it's a 2v1 in mid and in top. They've switched their lanes after the second turtle, and Kairi coming in, threatening a kill onto Edward. Same story, bottom lane, and off-camera kill. Down goes Baloyski, courtesy of Wise. Edward, he's okay, confident he's not gonna die. Take that. Tier 1 up top.
Yeah, absolutely. And now with the tier 1 up top, it is going to set up for the next turtle. But Blacklist, they are looking for the trade. Marky getting sniped. And this is where he needs to recall. Nope, he cancels it. Wise and Venus.
He's sandwiched. It's too much to survive. Wise gets that. And they will convert directly into this tier 1.
Well, let's see what happens here, though.
Oh, Detna's welcome. Get in my belly. Flicker already used up. Baloysi gonna get spotted here. Wise still stomping away. They retreat.
What a great pickoff coming up from Blacklist International. Because of the death of Baloyski in the mid lane, was no one to actually supply the vision for Onic PH to guard the side of Marky. And Blacklist International took full advantage of that.
Hatred so close to biting it. The huge range on this feathered airstrike up top. Delarski still trying to take down Edward. It's Baloyski and Delarski. The Ski Brothers. Here comes the rest of Blacklist International. Circling Eagle. Black Dragon form. They answer back. Oheb with the passion. Blasting him with that SMG. And look at this Delarski. He's low. He's right in the middle of all of them. Taken down by the sniper. Point blank. Baloyski blasting away. Kairi secures a third turtle. Was that worth it? A body for the turtle.
At this point for Onic PH, that's okay. As long as it's not Marky. Hatred.
Swing back, they answer. Edward puts a few stacks of the Ionic Edge. Marky to the rescue, cutting this team fight short.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's gonna be a good trade because of the fact that it's not Marky who's dying in these fights. As long as Marky as well as Kairi are okay, are getting all of these farm, it's okay. But then again, you have to be careful if you're Delarski. Maybe that's their last death. Eventually, Onic PH will rely on the tankiness of both Baloyski and Delarski. Both of them not having the best kind of tank ability, but that is the best that Onic PH can rely on in this game. Eventually, the lineup of Blacklist International can burst down these fighters, so you have to take note of not dying so that you get the farm for all those defensive items.
Oh, Wise already starting up with the Detna's welcome, cancels it. In goes Marky. That's going to be a forward entropy, and down goes Wise. Enough firepower to go for the counter engage as Haji puts up a defensive feathered airstrike. They're not done though. The Queen says we can take this. The Queen says we can try to take this. And they're going to go ahead and defend bottom lane. Oh, Kairi going to get sandwiched. And he's going to use the passive. Crits onto the Filipino sniper. 2 free kills plus a turret down bottom. Onic PH back on the map.
Like we said in the draft, it is this Yu Zhong that's just been crucial in these team fights. Look at the timing that Delarski is able to use that Black Dragon form. He didn't do it initially. He waited up until Farsa was in position, then he pops it. That's where Haji, he just can't go for that Feathered Airstrike anymore. Now with the Lightning Truncheon build, he will do a significant more damage, but the thing is, when are you going to use that ultimate? You have to have that perfect timing and the perfect positioning. That's not going to happen, man. Delarski is just so on point with this Black Dragon form, and they're already using those pushes, those sieges, utilizing the Natan and that Isun Shin.
Watch out for the map. It's a little bit of a split push for Onic PH as they want to use Hatred on the mid lane role to show the minion waves up top.
Oh, it's a full-on engage as Delarski has to use the Black Dragon form on a defensive way, and he's taken out by Wise on the retreat. No punish at all on the side of Onic PH as Boloisi gets stunned and still survives. Uses that flicker at the nick of time. But Lord here taken down to almost half health. Here comes Hatred. Walks into a 4-man, a 3-man. He's dashing around. Mountain Shocker. Kyrie trying to keep his mid laner alive. Feathered Airstrike set in. And Hatred from the north takes him down. Traded for his own life. It's a messy team fight for Blacklist and Onic. Neither want to give up this Lord.
Well played by Onic Philippines. That should have been them losing every single time with Delarski dead. But look at the way they're able to just save time, get some time on the board for Delarski to spawn back. Sure, that was Hatred picked up, but it's a mid lane for the mid lane. Now with Delarski here, it is going to be much, much better for the side of Onic PH.
Oh man, this is crazy as Delarski really just relies on this Yu Zhong ultimate to really mess up with against Blacklist International. And then, of course, Hatred sniping Haji. Was it worth it? Because they still lost one hero for that. So 1-for-1 trade-off. I guess the answer is yes, because at least they stopped the Lord take from Blacklist International. But you have to be very careful about Onic PH. Blacklist International is a team that really punishes those trades. When the trades look favorable for Onic PH, it seems like Blacklist International just finding ways to even up the trade or even just one-up Onic PH because of their small movements in the game. For example, really just poking this Delarski Yu Zhong to the point where he's forced to use the ultimate.
Now let's take a look at the items here with Kyrie building up already the BOD, all right? This is where he is going to be so powerful. Maybe next item is going to be the Malefic Roar or the DHS considered. Yeah, it's going to be either one, all right? It's preference for the side of Onic PH.
Oh, starting it up with the Feathered Airstrike.
Not good.
Not good. I mean, it was used for vision. They do have that. They need that to be able to open up the map. And Haji spotted by Marquis. That's a lot of damage, but Boloisi will not fully commit. Maybe once bitten, twice shy, Boloisi.
Yeah. There was a time where Marquis is called the bad boy by Mr. Manjin himself, and that is the reason why.
Here we go. Circling Eagle plus the Black Dragon form Lord at about a fifth of its health. Wise Detna's welcome. Answers back. Kyrie gets blasted with the Feathered Airstrike. That's the Lord secured by the Queen. There's a knockup. 3 down for the side of Onic PH. Blacklist International punishes the micro mistakes as Boloisi bites it. Edward takes his head. It's only one left. It's just Hatred.
A huge mistake for Onic PH. Not just the timing of that fight, but look at the members. Hatred was nowhere near that Lord, and they still forced it out. That was them getting overzealous, greedy, and Blacklist will completely just punish them.
Oh my god, it's not an enhanced Lord, but there's no wave clear. Again, the problem for Onic PH,
they can end.
They don't have the wave clear. They have Marquis this time.
Oh, Hatred catches way too much via the Feathered Airstrike and the Nibiru's Passion. Mountain Shocker to help clear the waves and push back Blacklist. It's not going to end. Not here.
That is going to be so bad for Onic PH, man. They've lost that inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Remember, the side lanes are bad, but that mid lane is going to be bad, even worse here, as they're just, wait, they might just go in for the push.
They're not letting go. Look at where Edward is. He's putting so many stats on the people. Feathered Airstrike one more time. Boloisi caught out of home. There's the Tota's welcome. Get in my belly and down under the ground. Wise takes him, as well as the inhibitor turret down bottom. Top lane going to be next up on the docket for Blacklist International. They are calculated. They are taking down these turrets surgically precise. There's another Feathered Airstrike. Does this thing not have a cooldown? Black Dragon form force out of Delarski. They're bursting him down. He's gonna survive. There's a Mount Shocker landing on all 5 members of Blacklist International, but they're not done. Hatred weaving in and out, stinging like a bee. There's a knockup. Down goes Edward. Huge punish from Onic, but the Filipino sniper takes one from the back. Pew! Ow! Kyrie goes down. Dilarski as well. 3 defenders left, but it's not done. Not quite yet. As Hatred gets taken down again. Oheb, dual wielding, taking him down with Nibiru, circling Eagle by Beloyski. He's caught out. Second time in the past 2 minutes. He's still alive. They were trying to distract him, but it's not gonna happen. Marky gets taken down by Haji. Max range. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wipeout. Game number 2 going over to Blacklist International.
The Filipino sniper, what was that? Look at him, he's hyped. Don't give this man a hero with guns. Ban out the Clint, ban out the Beatrix. At this point, ban out the Layla from this man.
And I was really just amazed on how Edward used this Uranus. That Lord fight, that crucial Lord fight, I will credit it once again to both Edward and Haji. The far side Uranus combo. Uranus making sure he stopped on Kyrie. And they time it well. Because there is a point where Onic Philippines will be so focused into taking that Lord. When the Lord is already at 30% HP, Kyrie wants to get that last hit. But Uranus with that timing gets on top of this Yusin Shin, and Yusin Shin without DHS will not deal the damage to Uranus. And then Haji just pops the ultimate in time to punish Kyrie. Because Kyrie is slowed down already and too focused on the Lord, that feathered airstrike will be on point for sure. And we saw them just destroy this double marksman composition once again with the artillery mage Farsa.
Man, oh man. That is amazing. The fact that Onic Philippines, they already had a multi-dimensional draft. Blacklist just outclassed them in these team fights.
2 games in a row, Blacklist taking it. Let's see what our analysts think. Back to you, LaFell and Gideon Q.
Thanks, boys. Welcome back, everybody, to the analyst stand once more. This is a pretty interesting game because overall we did see a good battle coming out from Onic's side, trying to actually split things up. And we can talk a little bit more about the draft, especially since Onic, instead of going for the traditional banana split of 2-3, they wanted to actually make it into a 4-1 with a variable mid laner.
Yeah, and this is a situation where we have to remember but that both these teams, they say that they counter each other. And right now, Blacklist is really looking like they know how to counter Onic. And we have to talk about the hero selection in terms of Edward using the Uranus and Farsa. Again, they're winning the range game because looking at the side of Onic Philippines, their draft have 2 marksmen, and the Farsa is really good against this marksman kind of lineup.
Honestly, I feel like it's just overall difficult to get in on these fights, and I think that's where you do see how Onic decided, you know what, instead of having hard counters, we do have the Yuzong. We also have the Paquito. Maybe we can use them, go in and out, try to get that instant denial, but we do see that strong peel coming from Oh My Venus.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from because again, Onic Philippines actually a very good idea. Let's just dive them. But it makes it so difficult to dive just because of how they're dodging it around and just like kiting, and then once everything is done, we're just gonna deal more damage.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the few things that still frustrate me overall is just the fact that the drafts have been so good. Honestly, you guys should be checking these games out, and a big shout out to our travel partner, Toomey, for making it all possible. Toomey, the leading international performance luxury brand, designed Toomey esports pro level bags and accessories for gamers on the go. Guys, get yourselves one today. It's an easy buy. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the item builds and overall draft. It's been very difficult for Onic to seem to penetrate this UBE.
Yeah. Again, we have to talking about the draft. Just like you said, they turned it around a little bit because in the first game, they really tried to focus on the early game. Now they're trying to focus on the late game, having the Natan as well as the Yi Shin. And to be fair, Kyrie played the Yi Shin very well. He managed to control the early messages pretty good, securing a lot of the turtle, but they couldn't transition well. And part of the problem is because of Uranus. I know that you don't really like this hero too much, but he created so much space that it makes the entire map open for the side of Blacklist.
That's the thing. The question is whether or not they can actually develop that space and actually maintain that line so that the rest of Blacklist, and most importantly, so that Haji can obliterate people again and again and again. Let's go check out the item builds real quick here and kind of break this down because so far Oheb, he just continues to help pressure. When you see Peel, he whips out Renner and makes it look so easy to pick up these kills.
Yeah, and actually in this kind of situation, yeah, we got to talk about their incredible mechanics, but just, in my opinion, anyone can play that good when you have someone like Edward creating that much space. But we do have to see how Onic Philippines is almost desperate in the way that they try to engage, where Beloyski, Delarski, and Hatred, they try to dive the backline, and the idea itself is good. I just feel like the execution is not being well placed. Delarski engaging a lot of those times, and honestly, he did get some pretty good engages with the Furious dive. However, I feel like they could have set it up a little bit better to make sure that Blacklist, they're in a situation where they can't run away, because we have to remember, oh my Venus, with this Rafaela, he's going to help his team a lot, especially looking at this. He has the Enchanted Talisman as well as the Dominance Eyes. He has a lot of cooldown. So the moment you feel like, oh, it should be fine, we can kill them very, very quickly, well, he has a little bit more time to get that healing. So it just becomes a situation where Onic Philippines, no matter what, they will not have enough damage to deal with Blacklist unless they go very, very far ahead in the early stages of the game, which the draft does not help to get early pressure in the game.
And I think we could talk about that and expand about that a little bit more. If you look at the total heal, just an overwhelming amount of pressure coming in from Oh My Venus. We know for a fact that Onic PH, when you're seeing Marky, he's doing a phenomenal job this Natan. No doubt about it. All of these members have the mechanics. However, with the composition and lineup that they have, it's all about all-inning. Blacklist International, they pull in, they pull out, they use a couple of resources, utilize a Holy Baptism. Doesn't really matter. It feels like they have multiple tries compared to Onic PH, who only have one big hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, all of those damage, again, for the side of Onic Philippines, there's a lot of damage, but all of them is going to Edward, which is our sandbag. 127,000 damage out of 231. Majority of the damage is just going to him alone, and he can sustain very, very well because, again, Uranus is just gonna keep on sustaining, and plus with this Rafaela, yeah, he's just not going down.
I refuse to admit that Uranus is actually a good pick, but it really is, and I absolutely don't like the hero, but truth be told, the stats do not lie in these situations. I think at this point in time, Onic PH really need to start expanding their win conditions overall. I love the idea. It's a really creative draft to get on top of Haji so far, but that Uranus has to go.
Yeah, either figure out a way to really stop him or just respect and say ban him, because again, both these teams, they know each other very, very well. So it is a situation where you do have to respect, even though it is a best of 7, you have a little bit more room to study how each other play. I feel like getting it out quickly is the best.
All right, let's throw it over to our MVP here for this game, going over to Oheb with his 8-1 and 8. He's sending codes to all of you guys, all of the agents out there for Blacklist International, doing a phenomenal job at capitalizing on the amount of damage. Edward is soaking up the sheer peel from Oh My Venus, the artillery coming in from Haji. Oheb, the big finisher.
Yeah, whenever we're looking at snipers, they need a lot of time. They need to make sure that they know where the target is going. Hold their breath for a bit, keep the aim steady, and then shoot. And again, in this kind of situation, he has a lot of space. He just got to make sure he hits the right targets. And most of the time, he hits the right targets.
I don't know how he doesn't miss. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous how accurate he is. We need a new stat one of these days for how many Renner shots this man has landed overall in a percentile. That would be great. But it's a bit of a struggle here so far for Onic PH, and I think, honestly, is Beatrix the least of their problems? I feel like there's so much more that they have to kind of think about, but the drafts have just been going into Blacklist favor again and again and again. We'll show you here in these highlights, and let's start with game number 1.
Yeah, looking at game number 1, this is a situation where Onic Philippines, they really controlled the early game, and just like we said, it's mostly because they have a lot of wave clears so they can move around the map a little bit faster. But moving in the later of the game, let's look at all of the team fights. They're making it very difficult for Onic to actually chase them, even though their items have a lot of movement speed.
Well, I mean, it's not just about the movement speed, it's just the fact that they cannot find the right angles to get into this fight. Blacklist International, what people need to start realizing is that the UBE isn't about, hey, we're supporting one another. It's just the sheer reaction speed, how quick information passes between each of the members to make the most optimal decision.
Yeah, and in this kind of team fight, always look at Haji. Whenever he opens his feather airstrike, there's not many space for Marky as well as Kyrie to really run away. And this is why we say that Farsa is a very, very good counter to Marksman, just because of the sheer range as well as damage that she can do. Because usually people are like, oh, the damage is strong, but imagine if you're a Marksman, one hit and you're basically out of the match.
I feel like at this point, even with the Natan pick, it had multiple ways to actually deny or at least cancel the feathered airstrike. It is still a hard game. Mechanics can only take you so far. The execution is almost looking so good for Onic at times, but if you have two mechanically perfect teams, it really does come down to the small things in life, like the draft.
Yeah, and speaking of small things in life, Rafaela can just heal them up in case if they do get something wrong. Like even if Haji was targeted, all right, let's just heal Haji back, fly around, wait for the time, and then just fed it a strike again.
It's crazy. Honestly, it's so crazy. I can't wait to see how Game 3 is going to go, but both of these teams are going to have to take some time to rethink their strategies once more. In the meantime, let's throw it over to our host, and it looks like he's got a special little guest.
Thank you very much, Gideon Q as well as LaFell for all the analysis for Game 1 as well as Game 2. Yep, to echo Gideon Q's words, taking a short break from all the action right now to bring up a star here in Singapore. Now, Mara, I must say, firstly, thank you so much. I've learned so much about Filipino culture, Filipino celebrities. You introduced me to Alodia. How about I return you the favor? This guy who's going to come on stage right now, if you search his name up on YouTube or any social media, you would learn this guy is a social media mogul. Let's bring him up here, Tien Hao Tan from Singapore. Come on up here, buddy. Big round of applause, please, Suntec City.
Hi.
How are you doing?
This is so crazy. I didn't expect to be on stage. Hi, everyone.
I know.
We have to have you here on stage. We
Okay,
heard how
thank you.
popular you are here in Singapore. So first of all, what do you think about the game so far? Blacklist International versus Onic Philippines.
Yeah, it's really intense. I mean, I came here as a fan to support the whole game, and like, wow,
Aw.
I'm just really overwhelmed by everything. It's really amazing.
Now, Tien Hao, not to put you in the spot, but who do you have your guest coins on? Who are you picking for tonight? Blacklist or Onic, or do you want to keep it secret for now?
I mean, if you want me to make a guess, I would go with Blacklist, but you never know, right? It seems pretty intense, so yeah.
Now, Tien Hao, we know, of course, you run so many things in the YouTube scene. There's even Titan Gaming as well. What do you think? One day, will you see them here on the world stage for MLBB or any other esport?
Oh yeah, I think for sure one day they will be there. I mean, they are over there supporting
Right there.
today, but I'm sure maybe next year. Who knows?
And you know, this being one of the first few events here in Singapore, what do
Yeah.
you think of the atmosphere so far, buddy?
Wow, it's crazy. I've never been to something like this before, and honestly, I'm just so proud of everyone, so proud of the whole game, and it's really cool to be here. It's such an honor to be here.
So we want to know, you play Mobile Legends, Bang Bang,
Yes.
right? What is your favorite hero?
My favorite hero is Sicilian.
Oh, Mage.
Yeah.
Okay, let's know what rank. What rank? Oh my, okay, that sounds like you're pretty high up there. What is it?
I'm just an epic.
Oh, epic. Okay. You know what? You come join us. We'll lift you up. I'm only on Legend. I'm only on Legend.
I was gonna say the season's gonna reset very soon, so all of us might drop back to Epic as well as Legend, especially over at Mythic or Mythical Glory. Now, Tien Hao, anything you want to say to the audience watching you all over the world? Maybe say, give them a taste of Singapore if you want to.
Oh well, yeah. Hi. Thanks for watching.
Big round of applause, please, for Tien Hao Tan. Now, you know what? Go on down, enjoy the game. I think your lovely wife is there. Hello. Good to see you as well. We'll see you soon on stage, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Watch your step as you make your way down, buddy. This is a big drop. There we go. This guy, I tell you, going places, gonna go higher. Every single video he posts is almost like 1 million views on YouTube.
And he started about 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, so-
Wow, making waves.
I think this was back in the year 2012 or 2013. I met him and he was still in what? I think secondary school. And now he's become a big name here in Singapore.
And he's so wholesome, he's so humble. I loved interviewing him.
Mara, I didn't get to ask you this as well. I mean, we asked Tien Hao Tan this. What is your favorite hero on Mobile Legends?
Healing for everyone. Rafaela and revenge has blinded me. Barca.
Wow. Okay, and since nobody asked, I'm just going to say, my favorite hero has not been picked, I think. Tigro. I love playing tank.
We need a tank. We need a tank all the time.
Yeah,
That's
for
needed.
honor. There we go. Now, I believe we are going to get to Game 3 very, very soon. Onic PH against Blacklist International. Once again, people at the crowd, if you're wearing your flags, if you're wearing your jerseys, can you show it to us right now here at Suntec City?
There
Blacklist.
you go.
Very loud. Onic as well. I see you all the way at the back. Thank you so much, Mara.
And for everybody online, let us know who you're rooting for and make sure you use the hashtag Pilipinas lang malakas.
Or even use the hashtag to the top. Once again, a big thank you to our friends over at Moonton for powering this entire event, supported by the Singapore Tourism Board, rather. And who is it presented by, Mara?
TikTok Live!
Official gaming gear, Razer.
And of course, Tumi, our official travel partner.
And not forgetting all the chairs that you see
So
on
comfy.
stage, keeping the players comfortable, our friends over at Secret Lab.
Frank by OCBC Bank, our official payment partner.
Our official network partner, keeping things connected right here in Singapore, Singtel 5G.
MeWatch, our partner in esports.
And our global social media network, Facebook Gaming. Thank you so much for partnering up. I think the analysis, or rather the analysts,
They're
are
ready.
Let's hand you over to Marco, Leo, and Wolf. Take it away, gentlemen.
Someone pinch me, I must be dreaming. This is a little too close for comfort to the MPL Philippines Season 8 Grand Finals. Welcome back to the desk at your service. My name is Leo, joined here by Mirko and the Wolf. And if I'm not mistaken, man, this is a lot like what we just did a few months back.
Well, you know, I was able to talk to some of the Filipinos while I was actually walking towards during our break. And I also came up with this guy who mentioned that maybe Onic Philippines' kryptonite is definitely Blacklist International. We can see that in the first two games as they just got schooled by Blacklist International. I think that you have to give credit to the Lord Fight formation coming out from the side of Blacklist International. It was just amazing how they punished Onic Philippines.
So far, it's been true. You know, you say it, a lot of the Onic fans, they don't like it, but so far it has been true. But most of it coming from that ultra responsiveness of Blacklist draft and their win condition.
They're so well connected, it seems like they might actually be on Singtel 5G. Unlock ultra responsive gaming with 2 times lower latency and get the edge you need while gaming on the go with Singtel 5G, SG's most powerful 5G network. Again, going around Singapore during our free time and even now just around Suntec, Singtel's always kept us online. Thank you again so much, Singtel 5G. Now, back to the topic at hand. Blacklist International always seems to have Onic PH's number. As a spectator, having seen the performance of these two teams from across the sea, from where you are, I'll ask you in just a bit exactly how you feel about this new rivalry that we have. But first up, let me remind you guys of the new hero coming up in just a couple of days. I can't believe it. We're actually going to be getting a marksman and tank hybrid in Edith. She comes out on December 21st. All right, upgrade your M3 pass to level 3 to unlock the Edith exchange token and use a token to exchange it for free on December 21st. If you don't have Edith exchange token just yet, make sure you just grab the M3 pass, okay? There's so much in there. I mean, we all got it already. We've been playing every day. You can log in from December 17th and 19th to get 4,000 free M3 pass experience points. So what are you waiting for? Do it now. Back to the topic at hand. What's it like watching these two teams go at it again and again, and now finally at the world stage? What's it looking like?
It's looking good right now, especially if you're a Blacklist fan, especially if you're Blacklist right now. Look at how they're able to just play and force their playstyle onto Onic 2 games in a row. These drafts, again, for Blacklist, is the natural UBE that we saw in Game 2, but they're still able to just push it forward. Again, the refined version, but I didn't expect that. I thought Onic PH would have their number by that time. And, oh, look at this now. It is going to be Onic Philippines. They need to adapt faster.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you got distracted by Angela and Fanny. Shout out to the cosplayers in the crowd. I was gonna say, yeah, Wolf, where might the turn come from? What might be that stimuli or that plot point that makes Onic just flip the switch?
Well, they have to, I would say, draft not really better, but more like let's make sure that they have kept their house clean, for example. Because you're looking at the draft, they pick up the Matilda back-to-back against the Rafaela, when some teams and they themselves pick up the Rafaela against the Matilda so many times before. And they are also looking to give that Farsa, well, it's technically not their choice anyways because it was first picked by the side of Blacklist International. But the thing is, they went not only for one marksman, but 2 of the marksmen that really struggling against this Farsa. Surely it looked like they were having a good time, and I think that they are using the Yuzhong to kind of answer that. But then again, they're trying to answer one hero with several heroes, and I think that's not the Onic PH way to go. Looking at their upper bracket run, they're always the ones who actually dictate the draft.
And I'm guessing this is where Delarski's Uranus comes into play. Because it's that one hero that forces like 3 or 4 people to say, look at me, look at me, look at me.
I kind of expected that to come in game number 1. In game number 2, it was the Farsa and Uranus combo that we see coming out from the side of Blacklist International.
Twice in a row now.
Twice in a row, exactly. And then again, Onic Philippines is a team that can also use that. And makes me wonder why they don't really respect the strength of that kind of combo so far. They don't have the answers to it. That's the real problem I have with it. So I think that this time, Onic PH needs to keep their house clean.
Well, right now, the Uranus is still standing at a 100% win rate after the 2 times it's been picked in the series. So, yes, it is a very, very good hero. And like Gideon, I really dislike this hero, but it's hard to say. But yes, it is a very, very good hero right now. We've seen it just used so well here in the last 2 games. And I would like to see Delarski take it away from Blacklist.
That might be step 1 in a grocery list of procedures for Onic PH to come back, not even withstanding and considering the score, right? It's 2-0. Mentally speaking, where might Onic PH be right now? What might be going through their heads?
Well, they have to think about it the way that it's a best of 7. So, technically speaking, it's far from match point. They have to not lose 1 game before the match point eventually, force more games against Blacklist International. So, mentally speaking, this is great because we had a break, quite a longer time between both Game 2 and Game 3. Maybe they have thought about their strategy more than Games 1 and 2. They have been talking about it. They have a little bit break. And knowing Coach Yep, he knows how to keep his boys in check. Make sure that nothing goes awry in this series.
Yeah, now more than ever, I think Coach Yeb's main strength as that authority figure, as that older brother, alongside Baloyski, who's trying his best to keep calm right now. He's I believe, looking at the scene, looking at the atmosphere, it seems maybe there is something that they're dealing with.
Yep.
So this is the situation in Onic right now. It's to understand that we're far from done. It's not yet match point, and we have to play better from here on. As for Blacklist, what might they be thinking?
Blacklist, I mean, there's only one thing they're thinking. That M3 trophy, man, all right? The thing is, they need to stay calm and composed to get there, all right?
Yeah.
They are right now 2 games ahead of Onic PH. They certainly have the lead, but they cannot get content.
Yep.
All right? That's one of the things that Blacklist, Coach Bonchan actually said during the interview. They got too comfortable after they won MPLPH the last time in MSC, and now yesterday as well in the group stage after going 3-0. They felt like they've done it.
Yep.
They felt like they've already won, getting placed against BTK, a team that no one expected to do well. They woke up these sleeping dragons that now are coming with pure vengeance here. They had a long road to the upper brackets. I mean, from the upper brackets down to the lower and now to the grand finals. It seems like they're not the normal Blacklist. This is a war veteran Blacklist.
I agree, and that's really scary. That's why I feel that putting the Blacklist International in the lower bracket is just... It's just a scary thing to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not up to Onic PH when that happened. But the thing is, this is Blacklist International, like I said, hardened by battle. And they know that they are warmed up and ready. That, 24-game stretch so far before this series. Now coming up to their 27th game all throughout M3. It kind of feels like their strategy has not changed at all. But at the same time, it looks like their hero pool is fast. That's how crazy it is watching Blacklist International. We always say that they have quite the limited hero pool, but it's more like it's an active choice for them not to pick the heroes that they feel don't give them value in their draft.
Yeah, that statement that Blacklist International has very few heroes is an oxymoron, because we know for sure that they're capable of making new strategies. And just like that, they have changed the game, and now they are so much closer, 2 games away from winning the World Championships. I'm loving the energy here, and I'm loving the suggestions. I'm glad you didn't say Moscow. That's not a gun,
That's not a gun,
That's
guys.
not a gun.
You know, he's the Filipino sniper. He needs a gun. Layla. Or Leslie, you know, I'll take it, I'll take it.
Yep, yep. Just let him dream about it. I mean,
Hey.
knowing Blacklist International, they're not a team that will be, you know, shy about that. Like, we've seen them pick up the Mia before.
Yeah. Again, not a gun. But
Not
this,
a gun.
This is an interesting conversation I had with Eson, also Blacklist International, during our downtime in the hotel, right? It was one late night and we just bumped into each other. And we were just talking the metagame. Eson, he's gone around the world, won international championships, multi-time MPL champion. And you know what I asked you know what he said when I asked, what's the next big hero, Eson? What's the next big hero? He said Moskov. Moskov has been updated and patched and buffed for so long now. He has mobility, he has global presence, and he's wondering, how come he's not there yet?
Yeah, and he's one of the top Moscow players in the Philippines.
Right?
Yeah, his win rate is very high. I think he had thousands of matches with that hero. And it's true, maybe we can see that in the gold lane. Yeah, but then again, not a gun. As the gentleman here has been shaking his head for the entire time that we were talking about these heroes.
Yep. It's not a gun. It's not a gun.
It's not a gun.
Big
No,
shoutouts
no, no,
to
no,
Eson though. It makes me think he's the only, if I'm not mistaken, only 3-time MPL champion. Think about it.
In Philippine history.
In Philippine history.
Maybe even the world at this point.
Actually.
LJ.
LJ though
Also-
is a 4, about 4.
Lemon.
Yeah.
How
that's right,
perfect
that's
is that LJ and Eson are like roamers?
right
True.
now, yeah.
Well, right now, again, we have to stick to this point right now. Onic Philippines and Blacklist 1 minute away from the draft. What's in that file? I swear. Every time I see that file, I get nervous myself because they are prepared. Look at how many pages. It's a thick book.
Yeah, no. This is a consortium of strategies collected by all of them. It's not only Bonchan who has hands on it, but also...
Speaking about
Venus.
roamers.
Oh, look. Favorite players. How about it? Favorite players.
Hey, favorite players. We got Albert and Chaknu, Chak Mamba himself.
And
Hey.
Albert as well from...
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of Alberts. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There's
A lot of Alberts.
There's 2 baby alien lovers here.
All right. Oh, Albert. I mean...
Still the fan favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
still.
yeah. Won an award here.
Exactly. Would have really liked them to see them progress into the lower bracket, but unfortunately,
Same.
It had to happen.
no, it had to happen.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
You're giving me flashbacks, man.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Too soon. Way too soon. Let's not talk about it right now, man.
We're still here in the grand finals and we're 40 seconds away from game number 3's draft. We're about to see if Onic Philippines once again circles back and considers that maybe it's that Uranus, maybe it's that Farsa. There's so many heroes out here that have a crosshair on their backs. Literally highlights around them when you're looking at them through the draft.
Yeah. The thing is, usually when you see people that are just good on the beat tricks at the Clint, you're gonna be bad at other heroes. No, he's good on the Alice, on the Herald. We've seen him perform on every single hero. And that's the thing right now. What, at this point for Onic, what do you do against Blacklist draft? What do you need to ban?
Well,
They've tried everything.
they tried the 2 same bans for both of the teams. I think that they will change the bans if they do change the sides, but which we are not really sure of.
We're about to see.
Yeah, we're about to see. I think for Onic PH, surely they should. They are not considering like banning out the Farsa once again. This time it's changed, but unfortunately the guess is not gonna come out as they have both the same bans. It's going to be surely Aldous for Onic PH. Unless, of course, they change it up. But then again, you don't really want to give the Aldous to Blacklist International.
Really? Let's see. Right now, because remember yesterday when Wise's Aldous was left open, BTK were able to make a lot of plays there. Even though they lost in the end, remember they were able to get the win the first time around in the upper brackets. Nope. Onic PH, they don't want to go up against that Aldous and that Estes. So still banning the same hero. Same thing goes for Blacklist. Now that's the thing here. Onic PH, they've lost 2 games in a row. Don't you think it's time to switch it up in the draft, the bans?
Well, they do change sides, so maybe they can first pick the Farsa this time.
Your team is picking.
Exactly, that is going to be the case. But Blacklist International, we've seen this team. They will still pick up Clint or Beatrix in the first phase. And I think they're going to snatch the Rafaela this time as Onic PH really loves that hero. Baloyski has been perfect with it. And so far that Matilda has been quite... really not that good.
Yeah, might be the Farsa... might be the Rafaela using Shin or Rafaela Clint,
Yeah,
Rafaela Beatrix.
Time and tide wait for no
Oh, it
man.
is going to be the Beatrix. Let's see if the Rafaela comes true. Let's see. It is going to be Rafaela
You're welcome.
and the Beatrix. Thank you. Onic Philippines now with the draft.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I was really shocked about their exchange. But now for Onic PH, I do wish that they don't go for something like Matilda. Maybe Yuzhong is good.
Oh, or the Cho. Yeah.
And this time you hear that
Your
guy,
team-
you
Let's
hear his
go.
words. It's the Uranus from Dilarsky. He himself have pioneered that play style from this Uranus, but Edward change it up. Now this time for Onic PH, Uranus and Farsa combo. They will be the ones to pick it up. I think Blacklist International will not be picking up the Yi Shin anymore. It's going to be, I would say, the Barats. Blacklist International.
Do you realize what Onic Philippines are doing right now with the drafts? They ban away the Yi, pick up the Farsa and the Cho. Who they're targeting? It's Haji, man. Blacklist International now. What does Haji want? These two heroes, these three heroes that have been banned or picked.
Haji has a mean Kagura.
He does. He very much does. And we saw how that Kagura was able to disrupt the Drian's Farsa
Exactly.
when they met in the lower brackets. Now, will it be the Kagura pickup for Blacklist? No,
Your
they are
team
going to go
is
for the
banned.
Barats first.
Yep. Indeed true. Now for Blacklist International, are they gonna ban out the heroes for Marky? So, for
Where is
example,
my-
no,
Your
it's
team
Natalia.
is
Obviously,
banning.
you don't want to give the Natalia to Onic PH. We saw that happen. Even when Onic PH already pick up this Cho,
Your
Blacklist
team is
International
banning.
will still respect that. There is another respect ban, and it came from Onic PH. The Alice will be banned out, knowing full well that Blacklist International utilizes his heroes very good.
There's something here on the side of Onic that's blue now that changed. They're keeping the Beloisi hero in check. So maybe they'll save it. I mean, obviously it has to come up on this, but by picking Farsa, Cho, and Uranus, they're changing the pace already.
Oh.
It's a huge change. So I'm guessing this might be the road to recovery.
Yep, road to recovery. Let's see. And this means that there will be a lot of open heroes for Kyrie. After the fact that both Ling and Hayabusa has been banned out, they still have the Pakiro open. Although it's not great versus the Barats.
Your
Oh
team
my
is
God.
We saw this.
We did see this, and that's how crazy Blacklist are in the second phase of the draft. They're gonna straight up respect your bans.
Yeah.
Look at this. Valir, Selena, and Natalia. 3 bans towards Beloisi. They're literally forcing Beloisi to stay on that Matilda.
And then again, with the presence of the Cho, there is a chance that Onic PH put that
Your
on.
team
Oh,
is
I like that. Now, Amin, Kagura,
Yeah.
Eve, Farsa, and Cho. What else?
What now, Haji?
You know what, with these bans, what they're trying to do? They're trying to force the Beatrix to go on the hands of Haji right now, you know? Because right now, look, all those mid laners have been banned out
Yep.
or picked.
That is absolutely true. And the Beatrix in the mid lane it's still pretty decent against this Farsa.
It's good, but we haven't seen Haji play it before.
That's right. Well, I think we did. I think we might
PH.
have
In M3, we haven't seen it, right? So that kind of says that maybe they're not too comfortable playing that Beatrix, right?
Then again, at this point, Grand Finals, the teams are here, Blacklist International. This is a team that never plays an uncomfortable hero. That's what I feel from them. Nathan, of course, the
team
answer
is
to this tanky Uranus. You have damage that will scale. Good combination with this Rafaela, and that's your OHIP hero. How do you answer now if you're Onic PH? Do you take this Brody or the Clint? Or you just let the Farsa stay in the mid lane, get Lilia perhaps?
Because I
That's the
saved my
Yi Shin
nation
still.
from falling apart.
Still the Yushin Shin pickup for Onic PH. Again, they want to
Yep.
get some vision, utility on the map with the Mountain Shocker. Also scaling up to that late game is going to be great going up against this kind of team. But they need a strong gold laner to end this off. Or maybe perhaps we've already seen the gold laner once again. This Cho can be flexed. Sure, we
That's
haven't
right.
seen a lot of that, but it still can be the case here. Onic PH, they have a chance to pick up a Lilia. If they do pick up the Lilia here, it's going to be really good.
Yep.
Your
Oh,
team
Lolita!
Beloisi?
Okay.
All right, you forced me on a Matilda. I'm gonna simply pick up the Lolita. First time for Beloisi.
And it's so good because
It
there's
is.
two
It really is.
marksmen.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
This is a hero that has been left under the in this draft so far based on the 2 games. You haven't seen it at all. Actually, no. Based on the 9 games they played in the upper brackets, they haven't played this at all. This is insane. Finally bringing up the Lolita.
Yep.
And look, they're going up against 2 marksmen, like you said. It's really good timing. With Blacklist, they're forced to now only Lilia has opened up for that mid laner if they do want to put this Nathan in the jungle.
But then again, there's a lot of choices, right? Rafaela, as well as the Barats. I mean, Rafaela provides for the Barats to become a jungler. So it is indeed going to be the case. Edward going to be put in that Esmeralda spot. Again, Esmeralda versus Uranus.
Haji Beatrix.
Haji Beatrix, exactly. And look at him go. Coach Yeb making sure that his team is ready to go. It's going to be a mountain to climb. It's only just 2 more wins for Blacklist International. But for Onic PH, they have to start with 0.
Well, let's see right now. The coaches will show each other respect right there. And man, based on the draft, I feel like both have a very good draft. It's all going to come down to the execution. But one thing I'm scared of is Onic PH, they usually just really like to play on with those winning lanes. Now, with this draft, you can kind of say that their winning lane, I don't know about it.
I think that my guess is Farsa is going into the gold lane.
Farsa is going,
Yeah, confirmed Farsa is gold lane, and then we're gonna see that trademark Cho in mid for Hatred. And, you know, as for Blacklist, we already confirmed it, Haji on the Beatrix. Let's see how this performs in game number 3 in this best of 7 for the World Championship. Onic PH versus Blacklist International. I'm loving it.
Well, who would have thought that we'll go back in 2021 for a double tank setup in the mid lane? And the support roles, right? It has been a long time.
Haji blasting away at Baloyski, forcing out that flicker. Oh my Venus puts in a little more just to make sure. Forcing out an early recall down bottom, but here in this lane, close. He's gonna get denied his gold. Cart barely gets it. Marky with the wings by wings, scaring him to death. Almost to death.
Oh, look at the Barats. I think he's going to make a move on to Farsa.
Low. That's a 2v1 down there. Kairi using that passive so perfectly. They're going to get first blood on the Marky. A surprising amount of damage on the Barats. Kairi traces this away too much. It's a double kill for the big Dino on Wise.
Ultimate bonding experience. That is the name of the game. What the heck was that? I'm lost for words right now. Wise.
That's a massive lead, man. Wise was just phenomenal, using the so-called teamwork as well as the big guy passive. And Onic PH made a mistake trying to go close range against the Barats. That's what you never want to do. Surely you have the passive from Yi Sun Shin, but both Farsa as well as this Yi Sun Shin so low makes it so that just 1 kill for Wise will proc the killing spree and eventually will win the 2v1.
Not to mention the holy healing. So yeah, perfectly put. It's a mini ultimate bonding experience, but it was so clutch. 1,000 gold ahead already. Blacks International not even starting up this turtle. They're going to pull it over to their end of this nest. Mountain Shocker checking where everyone is. Edward going to try to keep Delarski at bay. Here's all 4 members wailing away. Oh, maximum range on this turret. And that's going to be Detna's welcome. Getting Mobrella, throwing him into a wall. Kairi going to secure it. Bombs away. Haji throws out.
Edward?
No caution to the wind. That's Kairi taken down. Traded out for Edward. 2 for 1 so far. Baloyski falls. Blacklist International securing the body count but gives up the turtle. Was that worth it?
Definitely not for Onic PH, for sure. They get the turtle, surely. But then again, Blacklist International, again with the baits, they lure Onic PH into that spot once again where they were clumped out together. And with the AoE from Blacklist International, it's just way too good of a damage. And the fact that they also had to use Marky into the mid lane.
Face check into that Numenon blast, and Delarski punishing them, putting so many stacks on that Ionic Edge. Spots out the Queen. He's not done. He's going to try to take down this Rafaela. Holy healing. Detna's welcome. Delarski purifies, and let's go. Wolf, you were saying?
Yeah. They had to use the Farsa into the mid lane, which kind of left OHEB free with at least 2 lanes.
Finally gets it. So there's a little bit of delayed gratification for Onic.
Look at that face, Marky, with the smirk right there. He's so happy about that. But again, Blacklist International now early on, already pushing in the pace. This is not going to be good. Wait a minute.
Oh, that's going to be a fight here in the purple buff. A punish onto the attempted steal and invade. Wow, again, it's a holy healing and the killing spree. Deadly combo.
So fixated into trying to punish Wise this time, and so far Wise has been winning all of them. 3-0 and 1 on this Barats. with the help of Oh My Venus, just not leaving this. This is again Rafaela and Barrett's combination, and Blacklist International are really the big proponents of this, and they have mastered it so well.
Well, let's see right now. Blacklist International going in with the winning lanes, able to get so much done on the map. Again, this is one of the critical elements that made Onic PH such a force in that upper brackets. The winning lanes that are able to set up for the turtle, for that neutral objectives, the banana split. Remember, and now Blacklist with their own winning lanes and their winning jungler. It's so hard for Onic Philippines to just crack open and just play their game. The banana split hasn't been a thing since game 2.
Yep, in a vacuum, yes, Onic is winning the lanes 1v1. Dilarski dictating the pace, I mean, kicking Edward out of his lane. But when it comes to these exchanges, I mean, Blacklist International just winning completely, securing that turtle, forcing Boloyski away, and in this case, it's fine. Edward looking low. Dilarski gets a kill. Haji unable to protect his Esmeralda. They're gonna have to disengage here, and look how deep Onic is.
Yeah, again, Onic Philippines, this is what they need to do. They need to start to play their own game, play their game. Oh no!
Boloyski taking down the shield was not enough to protect him, plus the tenacity. Haji on this Matrix, something else.
This was far too low. I think it's again Wise just running literally over this Lolita, and Lolita cannot stop the damage output coming up from Wise. And they're just using this Barats with the turtle buff so well, and look at how much chunk, how big of a chunk of the damage he deals against all of these heroes. That's the strength of a jungle Barats, and with the Rafaela to help him out with more movement speed, and then eventually the War Axe proccing, it just makes so much place for the team. And eventually, we just talked about it, do 2 sentences, and eventually Blacklist gets a push up the bottom lane.
You're right, Marky has to be present. If not, they'll just suffer the same consequences. Wise trampling over them with this Barat, so they have to perfectly time these team fights. I'm guessing Kyrie has to be on point every time.
Yeah, finally now, it's actually a switch, right? Usually we see Onic PH, the ones with the early lead. Oh my goodness, picking up another kill on the board, and they're looking for more here. Onic Philippines on the other map, on the other side, I mean.
That's it. Haji goes for the rage, and there's a way of the dragon, but they just served him up to Kyrie. Edward pushing them back. Boloyski with the Luminon Blast. Trapped between 3 members. They're going to try to get this kill. And there's the rage. There's the passion. And there's a trade so far. 1 for 2. Haji goes down. Cleared out for Edward. And they're just pushing in. So many turrets going down. Top, bottom, mid. Only going to be stopped by Marky. Wings by wings away. Here comes Oh My Venus and Edward biting down. Marky's going to survive this one. Mountain Shocker. Oh My Venus catches a few. But Wise is going to steal away this orange.
Oh my goodness. Total map control for the side of Blacklist International, as Oheb is now freely farming around. When Blacklist International makes a play on the opposite side of the map, there is Oheb just taking turrets. And now they are farmed a 4,000 gold lead for Blacklist International.
2 levels right now for Wise on top of Kyrie. Oh, Hatred.
Okay.
Way of the Dragon by Hatred. That's all. Catches the Space Time Walker. Oh, Luminon Blast. No one home. That's going to be the turtle. Prioritized here by Yi Shin. Onic PH gets it. But at what cost? His life. Edward takes down Kyrie. Boloyski and Dilarski are running. Here comes Edward dancing around Boloyski. Put up a shield. I'm gonna eat it. Dilarski as well. There's a holy healing. Stunning the Uranus. Look at the damage coming in from Marky. Blasting away at the Esmeralda. He's dancing away, prancing to safety. And Wise looking to punish. He's gonna stomp down onto this Uranus. And here comes Edward and Haji. Answering back. Renner from Haji. And there's a jump falling star move from behind the turret. Hatred looking for a target. Knocks up Wise. Answers Deathless Welcome and the Way of the Dragon. He still eats him up though. Num 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 num. Down goes the Barats. Venus goes as well. What a re-engage and a counter initiation by Onic, resulting in a 2 for none.
What the heck is happening now? Both of the teams going turn after turn again. Both of the sides just baiting it out, and now we are going to take a look at a replay here, Wolf.
Yeah, I think this is where we are going to see where that double stun came from. But Yella have to give it to Hatred, that catching Wise off and then delaying this Way of the Dragon for a little bit so that they can catch up. Eventually, there's the stun. It came from both Boloyski as well as Marky. And then eventually, they just took 2 heroes, cutting down the deficit to just 800 and getting the mid lane turret as well. Bottom lane push, Onic PH have recovered. And it was off of them just trying to win the fights, the extended fights now. Blacklist International lost.
Marky was the MVP in that fight, man. You see the the positioning of that man going over the wall from the orange buff, actually. Not getting caught in the choke point that Blacklist International set up with that Nibiru's passion. But now, Blacklist 4,000 gold lead, already down to a 700. This is where Onic PH can look for some fights, can look for that banana split.
Yep, they closed the gap, and after 2 games, they finally figured out this fluid type of team play, this counter-engage, frontliner, light strategy, but actually they have to invest in a Lolita and a Uranus to get it. But again, 3rd time's a charm. They might turn this around. 9 minutes, 30 seconds in. Blacklist retains their gold lead, keeping it at about 1,000, keeping that gap open. What's next here? Who do they target? I'm talking about Blacklist International because it looks like it's going to be Beloyski. Detnes welcome into that Lolita. Is this a fight that Wise wants to take? Numinum Blast onto the big dino. Kyrie takes him down.
Very nice pick off for the side of Onic PH, and this is exactly where they find... Oh,
Flame shot from down south, taking down that Beatrix.
Oh my god, Marky! The snipe from downtown as they're gonna look for the Lord. But yes, what I wanted to mention is this is where they're most comfortable, right? Onic PH with the lead and going banana split. Larski on the Uranus just being such a nuisance, distracting every single member. And look, objectives coming in their way. This is the Onic PH I expected to see in game 1.
Hatred finds one with the feathered airstrike response by Marky, zoning away Blacklist International. And now, with that one win, I mean, they did get a Lord here. They're backed on the lead. Onic PH about 2K.
You know how they found the kill onto Wise? Wise was quite deep, yeah, but sure. But Onic PH normally will not take the fight because that's a bats anyways. Hatred actually spotted out both Oheb as well as Oh My Venus, and he actually wasn't found by both Oheb and Oh My Venus. That little opening, that little information that Onic PH was able to get and read onto Blacklist International allowed them to make a play against this Wise Barrett, and then eventually the fight.
And that's exactly how Onic should be playing, right? Answering heroes on a multiple level scale. Trade up. Trade up. In that sense, it was Hatred who won, and now it's the Uranus on Dilarski down bottom. You have to really check him out.
Marky.
What was that?
The damage from Marky. That's just Marky.
No, not just the damage. He's playing.
He actually...
He doesn't play like a Forza. He's playing like a brawler, a fighter. He's going in 1v5.
He flew. He used his mobility tool
to engage.
Check down bottom. Haji's in trouble. Oh, uses that Purify to protect himself. They're going to go ahead and take down a turret in mid. Now going to be the inhibitor in mid as well. So that's tier 2. And all tier 3s, they're all inside the base now. Beloyski catches quite a bit. Might have been too much. Flicker already used up. Holy healing by Oh My Venus. Detnes welcome. Dilarski purifying. No, actually just staying alive. It's a cancelled engage by Blacklist International. And it's enough. Marky is just so ahead here. Even sitting at 3-1-5. He's playing like he's 6-0-3.
Gonna have to give it to Beloyski though. He's very brave against Blacklist International. He's already at 4 deaths. Has to be very careful actually. But I think he knows his limits. Does have the Athena shield now on top of the grass.
Finds one way the dragon into the perfect assassination. Execution at its excellent. And that's going to be one traded out though. I mean, worth it if you're going to be taken down the marksman, but look at this jump by Edward.
Marky?
Falling Star Moon onto Marky, shutting down the Farsa 2 for 2. It's getting messy, but it's what they need to close the gap.
Yeah, Onic Philippines, this is exactly what they need. Make it messy because aside of Blacklist International, they want to make it just very organized, play with the ultimate bonding experience. And honestly, that is why is that so surprising to us? Because we've seen more tank shows, more like semi-tank shows in this tournament. Finally seeing someone with high and dry and that much damage, able to just one-shot Oheb, that's something that's so unnatural to us, to our eyes right now.
And I would really have to give it to Hatred. He probably have played it so much. He knows exactly how much damage he's able to get. I mean, nobody would have jumped against 3 members of Blacklist International to think that there is a Rafaela to really sustain that guy. But Hatred knows that with his high and dry, he's going to be able to get kills. Beloyski is far from home as well as Hatred, but...
There you go, spotted out. He knows exactly where everyone is.
No, no.
On to 3. Here comes Hatred from the back, taking down Oheb, serving you up to Kyrie. And now Wise caught out in the middle of 3. Another way of the dragon onto the big dino. Marky answers back with a feathered airstrike. Down goes Wise. Trade 1 for 2 so far. Marky getting danced on, taken down by Haji. And now Edward gonna be protected. But yes, top lane is getting pushed in. Edward's still onto Beloyski here. And this is exactly where Beloyski wants him.
Wait a minute.
And they let go. Oh,
That's
Hatred.
the split. Hatred, though.
Hatred. Oh.
It's gonna be checked by Onway Venus.
Spotted. Spotted.
Look at the just one attack with only fast just almost clears the card.
It's not over.
They're not done. Dilarski slowing down Haji. There's the Nibiru's passion.
Oh.
Haji looking the way of the dragon. Oh, the stacks as well. Down he goes. Maloyski. Hatred still alive. Edward looking for him. Numenon Blast unable to keep Oh My Venus down.
No way he
And
gets out.
Hatred outplaying him with the flicker. And there's the Falling Star Moon. Enough for Edward to take him down. So messy, so many team fights happening at the same time. Dilarski chasing him down. And I think we're going to slow down here. Pace yourselves, boys.
Hope we're not.
We're not.
Nope, it's just Dilarski buying time. And there's the answer by Marky. Feathered airstrike plus the flame shot into the dark.
Wise.
Entropy, switching it up, and okay, they disperse.
Oh.
This first finally. But then again, I think this is an opening for Blacklist International to actually take the Lord. They know that the Feather Air Strike is not yet available. So that is really the call here, but it will be spotted out. Oheb as well as Weiss, they deal so much damage onto the Lord, and Oh My Venus, as I said, we're just zoning them out. Great call from Blacklist International.
Red team has
My
slain the
God, the way they chain these events together is just so unnatural, so well done by Blacklist International. But now it's time to take a look, deep dive at the items. Now we finally know why Hatred's doing that much. The Blade of Heptases and the BOD. This is a full damage show. But that last item, he was building a little bit defensively now. Boloyski finishing up that dominance ice as well. At this point, we're talking about the late game. Who has it?
I can easily say it's Blacklist International. They have two
wait,
marksmen.
wait.
And no, they're trapped. What a pincer maneuver from Blacklist.
Oh, they're gonna get Marky here and Dilarski. Boloyski still has a chance to retreat, putting up that shield. They let go and top lane. You gotta watch top lane.
Marky,
Ninja.
Marky.
This is very fast. Marky gets taken down. Too late. Charging up the Numenon Blast. Oheb. Forward Entropy, in this case backward, trying to chase down Dilarski. And Edward goes to answer the show up top.
Somebody has to stop this bottom lane push.
No
Blue
one's going
team
to. No one
base turret
can
has
to.
been
Wait a minute. Boloyski, he's not going for the Lord. He's going for a fight.
Yeah, because Kyrie made the call and Haji answers back with a Nibiru's passion. But the damage is done. The damage is done. They get bottom lane inhibitor.
Oh, what a sneak coming out from Blacklist International. A great read, knowing that Onic PH cannot engage anymore. And we're talking about scaling, right? Mirko, you asked this question. I would say it's easy for Blacklist International to take it. Then again, if you're looking at their itemization, it also amplifies that fact because now they have Attila Shield
Blue
across
team turret
Oheb
has
and
been
Weiss,
destroyed.
which means that they now have the ways to deal with a Marky. And so far, as good as Marky was in the first few minutes of the game, this time at 16 minutes, it's more difficult. Surely his contribution to team fights is still very good. The wave clear is still there. The damage, the burst is there. But then again, it's already being answered by Blacklist International.
Let's see right now, Blacklist International going in and zoning away the
Blue team
members
turret
from
has
the side of
been
Onic.
destroyed.
PH should take the turrets down in the mid lane as well. Boloyski, he's there, but you know he's just tanking up damage. He's just trying to be a nuisance, but the damage is just simply too much from the side of Blacklist. Look at how they're able to control the map here. They take 2 waves for the price of 1 in that bottom side. Let it be.
Yep, prime positioning for Marky though. Despite the rocky and turbulent past couple of team fights, he still knows his job. And right now, he put his foot on the clutch, changed gears, and it says that now they're playing a defensive game. Hatred, he's changed from being an assassin into a split pusher, and he's trying to find this free kill onto Edward. It's 3v1, no 4v1, but here comes the rest of Blacklist. They're gonna
the
go ahead and
train.
collapse. Look at the switch up. It's Marky now caught in no man's land. Oheb gets him, and that's 1 down for the side of Onic PH. 4 defenders versus 5. They're looking to siege. They're looking to get more inhibitors.
Oh man, you gotta have to be amazed how Blacklist International is just baiting Onic PH so many times. Hatred wants to go for a play, maybe onto Haji this
Oh,
time.
he's gonna get it.
Is he gonna get it? Is he actually looking to get it?
Hatred, where are you going?
Patience
He
from
has
Hatred.
free entry. There's a Numenon Blast. They are going to
Blue
take
team
this
base turret
inhibitor
has been
yet
destroyed.
again.
Red team
Oh,
hero
Edward
has
goes down,
been
maybe a little
slain.
too forward. Hatred? No.
Patience from Hatred.
Not here.
They feel like they don't have enough damage, and honestly, I do understand. Marky was taken down. Without Marky, it's only Kyrie that can really go and deal damage. But if you look at the compositions, do you really want that Isun Shin to dash forward? Exactly. It's not going to be an option whatsoever. So very, very good, patient play coming in. Even though it might have looked like a good play, in the grander, it's just not gonna. It's not gonna work, honestly.
You have to be careful if you're Onic.
Oh, wait. Dennis,
Wow.
welcome. purified here, let go. Answer back by Marky. Feathered airstrike, down goes Oh My Venus, popping the immortality. Kyrie taken down by Wise. There's a 3-man stun with the Numenor blast. And the flame shot down south, buying Baloyski 1 kill. Could there be another backwards entropy? Here comes Edward dancing around. Wise still trying to fight against his Uranus, still has an immortality. He's getting blasted
Haji is
by
here.
Farsa. Here comes Haji. Oh, who's his spot? Oh, this is odd.
Lord. This is Lord.
Backline took too much. That's a 2-for-1, and eventually, yes, should convert into a Lord.
Yeah, it looked really good for Onic PH, but you gotta remember that it was the jungler traded for Venus, alright? Venus is only a roamer in this game. He's only died 2 times. It's not going to be that huge factor that can turn around the game, especially in this 19-minute mark. Onic PH, they might have bit too much than they could chew right now.
I agree. And now they're trying to split the map, but with more heroes in favoring Blacklist International, might be good. Marky going for the steal, will not get it.
Not gonna happen. They tried it with the Ionic Edge as well. Here comes Hatred, catches a blast from Haji and Oheb as well. Nice jump in by Edward, not gonna find any contact. Just like that, Blacklist International scores a Lord and is back to doing damage control on the map. It's relatively blue, so at least Onic has done good on that front.
4,000 gold lead for Blacklist, and they're going to be able to push in more here. Again, 2 inhibitor turrets taken away. That is 2 constantly pushing waves. They can build it up with the Lord as well. Look at the bottom side, slow pushing. Mid lane as well. Top side can just do that, and this might just be the end of the game. This is most probably going to be the final fight either way.
That's 20 minutes. You have to be careful if you're Marky. You're the only wave clear, the guaranteed wave clear from Onic PH, and
He's already used it.
He's already used it. That is true.
He's gonna have maybe one more by the end. Dilarski though, look at the burst on the side of Blacklist. Doesn't get caught by the render. Here comes Wise spacing out Baloyski. And there's the damage from Oheb. Entropy already in tow. Dilarski putting up a perimeter. The only hope left for the PL. Marky with a feathered airstrike. Gonna stave the Lord here this time around, but they will lose top lane inhibitor.
It's a lot of minions still.
It's not over, they're still going. Look at how low Dilarski is popping him with immortality. There's an Uminum blast stun onto 3. There's an immortality
But
pop.
the base,
Kind of ready to go down. It was all about the base. Blacklist International able to score 3-0. What's happening?
Point.
Oh my goodness, and the punish was there. Blacklist International, they started this game strong. They're the lineup with the better scaling, but with 2 kills onto Wise, it allowed them to just control the lanes. By God, Onic PH actually were able to recover, making this game 3 very interesting, but unfortunately, just the raw damage and scaling from both the Nate and the Beatrix, it was just way too good from Blacklist International, and now they're at match point.
They did enough in that last team fight to move up the waves, to make sure that Marky was overloaded when it comes to his responsibilities as the only good choice for wave clear, and eventually snuck in that win. Could have been close. Could have been one more defense, especially after that 3-man Numenon blast.
It's going to be really hard again because, like you said, Wolf, wave clear. Wave clear is number 1, and the feather airstrike was used way too early to get some damage done. Now, it's a risky play. It did work out for Onic PH.
We're at the cusp of another champion being crowned. Before that, let's go throw over to our analysts. Let's look back at game number 3. Gideon Q and LaFell. Tell us what happened.
Thanks, Leo. As you throw, we catch here at the analyst stand, and now Blacklist International at match point. So let's break it down how they got to this point, because overall, the draft seemingly as on brand for both teams.
Yeah, honestly, this is one of those games where the draft is good, but we really have to look at what happened in game. And Onic Philippines, it looks like they're starting to misjudge a lot of things. In the earliest stages of the game, they didn't understand the power spike that Ibarra has, giving him over 2 free kills. Kyrie died 2 times in the early stages of the game, and Marky played very, very well. But again, he played like the cast said, is interesting to watch. He plays like a brawler, but more often than not, he's actually putting himself in danger.
That's the thing. I mean, it's those micro mistakes. It's one of the few things where it's hard to judge, like Barat, hitting that trample effect, getting those stacks right on time, which is a little unlucky for Onic PH. But let's break this down. Let's look at the items. Do you see anything that really stands out to you?
As of right now, honestly, from the side of Blacklist or Onic Philippines, They're all playing very, very standard in terms of itemization. It's just that the thing that we do have to talk about is Wise. Earlier in the game, he took the HP orb thingy, and because of that, he has a little bit more damage once he has that big guy stack. And I feel like that was part of the mistake coming in from the side of Onic Philippines, because usually Barat is very, very oppressive when he plays in lane. And they thought, okay, maybe in the jungle it's not going to be that big of a problem, but again, they misjudged that. Cho did so well in this game. Once he has the Blade of Ecstasies as well as the Blade of Despair, he can basically just one-shot anyone. However, ever since the side of Haji has that Wind of Nature, he became very, very hesitant to really go to the backline.
It came down to just sheer execution here, which is the scariest part, because even for Blacklist International, if they mis-executed, as we saw some of the fights, that's when Onic PH was able to turn it around. A big catalyst for it was going to be Beloyski. Every single time they had Flicker, that's when he makes a big play. But once we saw the adaptation from Blacklist International, keeping track of Beloyski's Flicker time, then it becomes a lot less potent. They're willing to make more aggressive plays.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Onic Philippines, they have a lot of tools to engage, but coming in from both sides of the team, the way that they play is, like our casters say, it's very messy. It's all over the place. Keeping track of every single thing is so difficult. And looking at this right now is actually benefiting for the side of Blacklist, because the heroes that they have, they can kind of take care of themselves. Even though Blacklist, they like to play together, but Oheb and Nathan, yeah, just chase after me. I'm going to entropy out. I have Flicker. The Barasi can take a lot of damage. And whoever is going to get low, Venus will be there to heal them up. On side of Onic Philippines, they really want to catch someone off with the Lolita stun, as well as Marky trying to stun them up. And again, Marky did a lot of damage, but if Blacklist, they're all over the place, chaotic, even he is having a tough time trying to prioritize who he should burst out first.
I mean, it's really, really rough. Onic PH, they wanted to steal away these comfort picks from Blacklist International, but it looks like Blacklist International are just running off of that huge momentum in the past 2 games. And you can tell that even Onic PH, to a degree, are giving way too much respect to Blacklist International, allowing them to just start taking down turrets after an initial mistake in the early game. And most importantly, when you look at the damage, it really is in Blacklist's favor due to these big team fights.
Yeah, and again, look at how many damage coming in from everyone from the side of Onic Philippines. It's different. The main damage dealers is Marky as well as Kyrie. Both of these heroes are the only ones that really went above 50,000. Delarsky did 51,000, which is great, but it's nowhere enough to take down anyone from the side of Blacklist International. Edward 96, Oheb 75, Haji 74, Wise 94. Overall, they do a lot of damage individually. And from the side of Onic Philippines, Hatred, he did good. He engaged a lot. But again, getting that damage onto Haji is so difficult, or even Oheb, just because again, there's a lot of mechanisms to really help them survive.
Yeah, I feel like Onic PH at this point are feeling the nerves coming in against Blacklist International. They're losing that momentum, and Blacklist is just playing off of the hype after each and every one of those games. Even recently, Onic was able to tweet out, hey, we need to reset. Literally one word, reset. And Onic PH this time, it's not going to help them that much, especially as they move into the next game. But Blacklist International here, Edward on this Esmeralda, whether it is going to be the Uranus or Esmeralda, he really knows his matchups. Our MVP of game number 3.
Yeah, and again, Edward just have a unique kind of playstyle where he opens up the map so wide for side of Blacklist that it makes it very, very easy for their core damage dealers to really come out and really judge where their position should really be, because we saw in the previous 2 games, the Farsa is a big problem dealing damage directly to the backside, directly to the core damage dealers. But in this game, Edward just controlled it so well that they're not really that pressured so much.
You can feel how they're comfortable. They don't necessarily have to immediately use their spells. A lot of the times when it comes down to punishing Hatred, in a matter of fact, comes down to Wise just holding on to that Daytona's Welcome and delaying it on purpose to wait to catch him off the Shinpo. There just isn't enough pressure coming out of Onic, and I think at this point, they are starting to feel just the weight of Blacklist International and the momentum they are gaining consistently throughout each and every one of those wins.
Yeah, and again, really have to give a big shout out to Edward again, MVP, really making the game so much more easier for his own team, where right now they're playing at easy mode. And the thing is, Onic Philippines, it's not that they're playing so bad, they're actually playing very, very well. It's just that Edward gives a very unfair advantage in terms of map control.
I feel like that's the name of the game here. Once you have control of the map, then they have control of their destiny here. The question is, where does your allegiance lie here today? Are you supporting Onic Philippines? Because they are going to need your support right now. And to do that, you can actually get the M3 battle emotes here. We prepared exclusive battle emotes for all 16 teams, and each battle emote has its own voiceover. So get them now and support your favorite teams, whether it be Blacklist International, whether it be Onic PH. They are going to need every little bit if they want to turn things around.
Yeah, right now, honestly, this is match point. This might be a situation where it will be a clean 4-0. And by the way, before we throw to the host, just want to remind everyone, we're going to do a survey, so we want to know how you guys feel about M3.
Yep, you'll see the QR code on the top left of your screen. So when you do see that, do give us that feedback. What can we do to improve? How are you liking the tournament so far? Scan that QR code right now. But with that being said, game number 4 is going to be on its way, and it's going to be a big one. This could be a complete washout here, and Blacklist International might be able to get that big win that they've been looking for all year. That being said, it's time for game number 4. We're going to be throwing it over to our casters. Please take it away.
One more game. Holding out for one more game. Blacklist International comes home with a trophy. Holding out for one more game, opening up the possibility for a reverse sweep. That's Onic PH. Welcome back to the Caster's Desk at your service. My name is Leo, joined here by Wolf and Mirko. I can only imagine the nerves. It was mentioned earlier by LaFell and Gideon Q how Onic PH must be feeling right now, because now there's only one chance. Now there's only one way to do this.
Yeah, there's only one way, and that's the reverse sweep. All right, it's something that only Todak has been able to do here in M3. It's gonna take a lot for them to get out of this. They're gonna have to dig deep for something here at this point, because it feels like even when they have the lead, Blacklist International have a way of just coming back into the game, forcing their playstyle. But honestly, if we're talking about mentality, they're really, really strong. I met Onic PH, Coach Yeb just now. He was still so confident.
Yep, and really, it's interesting how their journey has to end here, because for a lot of these young people, it's their first time in Singapore. And if you are looking to visit Singapore, well, what experiences are you looking forward to? I'm sure there's a lot of new things here waiting for you to see. Follow at visit_Singapore, and don't forget to use the hashtag PassionMadePossible to share what you're looking forward to doing in Singapore. For some of them, it's win a world championship. Wow.
Unfortunately, for the side of for Onic Philippines, like I said, it's a reverse sweep that they should be going. But if you're looking at the history of World Championships,
Hey,
true. Hey,
if we're talking about history too, lower bracket meta. Hey.
well, it's always has been 7 games. And do you wanna stop casting at game number 4?
Technically, M1 was 6 games.
6 games, yeah. But you know, we went the distance. We always go the distance. So I think that this time it will not be it should not be a 4-0. But then again, we're looking at a 4-0. Why? LaFell said it perfectly well. The tempo that Blacklist International playing with was just way too good, and they're reacting much faster than we compared to Onic Philippines, as well as the fact that their executions were too good. Their decision making is really championship level at this point.
Yep, and you guys can also have you can also have your say. You can have your decisions matter here, because we're asking you guys how you feel about M3 so far. Again, hello to Angela and Fanny. If you're loving the show, let us know. Scan that QR code up here on your screen right now to access the M3 survey. Tell us what you think and how else we can improve. I'm wondering what else Onic can improve. Are they lacking in draft because they already picked up the Farsa, they already picked up the Uranus? Does it come down to decision making? Is it a macro or a micro sort of calibration that they need?
I think yes. I think it's more about their decision making for sure. In the draft, I think that the problem they have is they don't have the holistic scaling as compared to the side of Blacklist International. If you're looking at Blacklist, they have late game, they have early game, and mid game. If you're looking at Onic Philippines so far, it has been just either their early game or just the late game. And by the way, just wanna clarify, Mr. Mirko, it is indeed a 7-game series in M1.
Really?
It was M2, that's right.
Oh.
Okay,
So,
M1 being an all-Indonesian
Yeah.
finals. So again, there's a lot of ways and patterns that history might repeat itself, but just the same, this is a whole nother beast. Yeah, no. Back to the point again. They have
Yep.
done these adjustments, and I must say, 3 games. That's a very expensive price to pay to learn and
Yeah.
calibrate on the go.
I don't know. Like I said, after game 1, I told you what Onic Philippines could do. After game 2, I said the same thing. But after game 3, they've done everything that I've said that they should do. Invade in the jungle, play more aggressively, pick out these heroes like the Farsa, the Uranus, contested from Blacklist, and so far, none of it has been able to work. At this point, man, like, oh, look at that Onic time, but Blacklist International, they just seem so,
Yeah.
I don't know, what's it?
Much love,
Uncrackable.
much love to this couple on screen. Right now, Onic is running out of time. Like, this is the only
Yeah.
chance that they can have. But still, I am so happy to see a smile on Hatred's face.
well, it really, I would say, gives some motivation to his teammates, and not only that, all of the fans of Onic PH. Again, only one way this ends well for Onic PH. For Blacklist, they just won. They need one more, and they have at least 3 more times. At least.
I think, all right, it all comes down to the discipline, I feel like, right? For the side of Blacklist International, they're so calm. It really is, you know, it's weird. It's I don't have words to describe how
It's terrifying.
it is. It's terrifying, really.
It's almost inhuman how calm they
Exactly.
are and how calculated a lot of their moves are.
I think you're gonna be really calm if you're match point at the World Championship.
But yes, but here's the thing. They're
I don't
not-
think you're gonna be calm at the match point. No, you should be. You should be hype. You should be like showing
Exactly.
emotion during the
That
match
is
point.
True,
This is
but you know, when I talk to the top coaches, particularly Bonchen as well as Coach Yeb, they always say no matter what happens, be it match point, being calm is the most important thing to do. And it's actually the hardest thing to do, especially if you're hyped. Looking at the players of Blacklist International, I think it's just the mixture of both veterans and matured people, right, from their side, and of course the young electric people like Haji as well as Oheb. They're very, I would say, high-spirited, right? And then if you have both Wise and Oh My Venus with them, it just really balances out all of the energy. And maybe that is something that Blacklist International has been feeding off of. That maybe that is where the combination of being calm and being hyped comes to play. And Blacklist International are at match point because of that.
I think keeping Onic PH's hopes high is going to be key. Just make sure that they don't feel the pressure, because you just perform so much better if you are in your element. And there you go, you're smiling, you have a positive mindset. They should keep this up.
they should.
At least this aspect.
Yeah, this
specific
aspect they should.
yeah.
But the gameplay is something that they definitely need to be able to adapt here. But the thing is, they have been adapting. You've seen that the games have been closer and closer and closer. Onic, they're trying to get the grasp, but
Okay.
Blacklist are just so good at just forcing their playstyles. It's so weird. Again, terrifying.
One thing that I think Onic PH wasn't able to adapt to is the focus on these neutral objectives. Because all 3 games, Onic PH, they're able to secure the turtle.
Payback.
And I think
Your
that the
team
carry
is
is just
picking.
way too focused on taking the turtle or the Lord. That sometimes Blacklist International are able to just get kills off of that. It was evident in games 1 and 2. In game 3, that's also true. They were so focused in taking the turtles, able to do so, but ended up losing the trade in the process. Because Blacklist International, they know that Onic PH are tunneling their vision into that area.
So this is prime example of focusing too much on the destination, that the journey is a little too turbulent, it's a little too rocky, you end up losing, friends along the way. I mean, literally sometimes.
Absolutely, but the same approach once more. 3 games in a row and now 4 games in a row. Estes, Aldous, Yves, and first picking that Farsa. Game 3 was the closest it was, but what are your thoughts on this, Wolf? The same 3 bands
He's
once
still
more.
good. Paying Christian Rafaela.
Wait for no
Oh, this time they go
Oh.
Joe.
picking.
To be fair, Hatred was quite a thorn on their sides. I mean, like a Lego brick stuck in your shoe. That kind of pain.
Pick Rafaela for the side of Onic PH. I feel like that's the case right now. But Loiski needs that. again, one of his comfort heroes here, right? Selena has been banned out. Natalia is not going to be the ones coming in the first phase. I think picking up the Rafaela is going to be good. There you go. You have it. And I think Uranus is going to be a very good pick as well here if you're Onic PH. Taking it away from Blacklist. You have the Rafaela for that sustain. You have that range. Now you need the front line.
Yep, and then Blacklist International eventually answers with the Barats after the Uranus. It's just how it goes. And Blacklist International, they are not afraid to not fix what's not broken, right? So, oh, they snatch it!
Okay.
I like this.
This is an interesting turn of events because Onic PH, they take the necessary steps to go ahead of the curve. This might actually be good or bad because they might have overthought it. That's also a possibility.
You know what? Let's see from Onic PH in their upper bracket matches, they're always like very flexible with their picks. They always go for open-ended picks. This time, the opening from Onic PH, not open-ended at all. Maybe the best is you have the Farsa in the mid lane as well as the gold lane. But then again, this Barats, it's not played by Kyrie. I don't see Kyrie
No
as
way.
a player
It's
who will
very un-Kyrie.
use this.
It's-
Kyrie.
I feel
love
like, I don't think it's going to be Kyrie. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a pick that is, you know,
For
it
Delar.
can flex, but I feel like Delar. But now Blacklist, I feel like Yuzong. Or Yuzong or Esmeralda, right? It really is going to be between those.
team is
Matilda
banning.
gets picked up by Blacklist International. Matilda Airlines for Venus.
I think the fact that Onic PH exposed a certain lineup or a key part of their play kind of allowed Blacklist to say, okay, let's do this. Baloyski, we know who's playing.
Yeah.
Venus, get on the Matilda. That might be the line of thought here for Bonchan.
It's gonna be, I would say, easier for Blacklist International to draft against this. Maybe they're gonna be looking for a
Allowed Blacklist to say, okay, let's do this. Baloyski, we know who's playing.
Yeah.
Venus, get on the Matilda. That might be the line of thought here for Bonchan.
It's gonna be, I would say, easier for Blacklist International to draft against this. Maybe they're gonna be looking for
Allowed Blacklist. Okay, let's do this. Baloyski, we know who's playing.
Yeah.
Venus, get on the Matilda. That might be the line of thought here for Bonchan.
It's gonna be, I would say, easier for Blacklist International to draft against this. Maybe they're gonna be looking for
Four XP laners.
I think you go Alice now for Blacklist International. Maybe not in this pick, but maybe in the last pick. And definitely they will use the fact that the OHEB's
Alice
is really good.
Yeah, no, don't pick Alice here.
Yeah.
If Alice were to come out, last pick
pick,
him. And right here, it has to be Wise's hero then.
I want to go for
Eason Shin.
maybe, yeah, Yusen Shin's still available.
Yusujin would be good because they need some vision.
Exactly. I feel like Eason Shin is going to be a very, very viable option right now for the side of Blacklist International. But if they don't go Eason Shin, they can maybe go for...
Maybe Nathan?
Yep.
Your
The
team
Paki-
is
I wanted to say the Paquito, but after seeing the Barats,
Yeah.
I felt like gonna stay away from the Paquito, but still, Blacklist going in, Edward Balboa. Or wait, there's no way this goes to the jungle, right?
There's no way. No. So they're saving Wise.
Yeah.
Not the entire. I mean, this is. We always have to think about this way. It's a championship. Maybe Wise just, whether in a time chamber, hyperbolic time chamber, maybe use that Paquito and surprise us all. But now Onic Philippines, what will they draft? I think they are gonna gun for the Kyrie hero as well as the Mark hero. Do they want to go Nathan? Do they want to go back to the Nathan?
I feel like they can go for Nathan, but no, they're gonna pick up the Natalia and the Yi Sun Shin. First time in the 3.
They draft. I think they are gonna gun for the Kyrie hero as well as the Mark hero. Do they want to go Nathan? Do they want to go back to the Nathan?
I feel like they can go for Nathan, but no, they're gonna pick up the Natalia and the Yi Sun Shin. First time in the 3 game.
They draft. I think they are gonna gun for the Kyrie hero as well as the Mark hero. Do they want to go Nathan? Do they want to go back to the Nathan?
I feel like they can go for Nathan right now, as Beloyski will be the one using the Natalia.
My goodness. I just want to point this out. Lane configuration solution again from Blacklist International. They are going to put this Beatrix against a melee hero in the XP lane and then have Edward muscle it out against Marky in that gold lane. This prevents the Beatrix versus Farsa matchup that is heavily Farsa-sided. Nice adjustment coming out from Blacklist International.
Absolutely, but now it's going to be the question whether or not Beloyski will be able to get inside of the enemy jungle. Look at him. Haji just does so well opening up the map, and Wise, this is something that you need. Oh, wait a minute, Venus.
Looking low. That's Beloyski jumping in, taking a few turret hits. Venus survives with a sliver of health. Oh, flicker in. Oh, gonna use a concussive blast. Draws first blood onto the Natalia. Haji scores it.
This is the thing. You know, that's what I wanted to point out here. Will this Natalia have a good impact in the game, right? Because, sure, so far we have seen Natalia still sitting at a 100% win rate back in the upper brackets, but going up against Blacklist International, a team who really likes to stick together, this Natalia will have a very, mediocre effect, I feel like.
And already Wise is rotating into a Marky's lane. Haji holding it strong in mid with Oh My Venus. That's a good question to ask, because when your back is against the ropes here, you really need to play something that's out of your pocket, that's very uncanny. Try to shock your opponent. And speaking of shocking, I don't know if hatred on Rafaela is something that I like.
Yeah, and the thing is, one thing I do want to add to it is that they're not going to have mid-pressure any time in this match. It's going to be really hard, but look, another fight.
Oh, Holy Baptism catches Oh My Venus. The answer, Circling Eagle. Oheb gonna go ahead and blast Hatred as he's knocked up by Haji. That's a free kill for Blacklist International as they open up this turtle. Scored by Oheb. That's gonna be Detna's welcome onto Haji. Delarski gonna retreat. Oheb spots one. Beloyski, very difficult for this Natalia to penetrate.
This is not good. Wolf.
Definitely not good. The lanes are not looking good for Onic PH. And the fact that they have lost that first turtle fight, I mean,
team
Oh,
That's not good at all, and now they have had a move on the bottom lane. This lane adjustment coming up from Blacklist International, putting OHIB in the XP lane for a winning matchup. This is just way too good of an adjustment from Blacklist International.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is honestly just so frustrating to watch, boys.
Bottom lane, this lane adjustment coming up from Blacklist International, putting OHIB in the XP lane for a winning matchup. This is just way too good of an adjustment from Blacklist International.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is honestly just so frustrating to watch, boys.
Bottom lane, this lane adjustment coming up from Blacklist International, putting OHIB in the lane for a winning matchup. This is just way too good of an adjustment from Blacklist International.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is honestly just so frustrating to watch, boys.
And naturally, they're just not gonna keep up when it comes to the economy. I mean, obviously, you're gonna be funneling all of your gold into your cores, but your mid lane as well as your roam will really be lacking when it comes to the farm. Baloyski needs to get kills, and so far, in the first 5 minutes of the game, he's not getting a kill as the Natalia. And we were talking about how important it is to them to get the early stages of the game.
Yeah, but wait, Baloyski finds a flank alongside Hatred from the east. Turtle still up. Venus gonna be in the range of this feathered airstrike. It's gonna go over to Wise. B finally taken down by Marky. OHIB gonna clear this wave. Baloyski, he has a nice catch. It's gonna be a 3-on-1 collapse. Trying to get out of here. Haji knocks up one. Hatred in the air. Holy Healing gets out of here. Detna's welcome. Oh, Hatred gets taken down. It's a double kill for OHIB as Baloyski walks into the line of fire. That's gonna be a knock-up on Haji. Wave the dragon into Marky as Edward knocks him out. Wise gets the kill. They're not done. They're gonna wail away at this turret. Delarski walks away.
Haji, what was that? He went in with... I am so confused as to what's happening in this game. It's a complete shutout.
This is a lot of fundamental mistakes coming out from Onic PH, definitely. And Blacklist International just keeping up together. Onic PH, you saw that they used the Detona's welcome to nothing. He canceled it immediately. Well, it was definitely outplayed Blacklist International, but the positioning from Onic PH, they're not getting it. But let's see, they still have ways to fight this in the early stages.
Yep, Baloyski jumps on Oh My Venus, not shy to take this fight. The silence in that smoke. Venus already goes away with the flicker. An interesting comparison here. Look at how divergent these two strategies are. Blacklist International, their lineup has so much CC. Onic PH, they're just trying to burst someone down.
Nope. And for the longest time, Onic PH are trying to control the mid. I mean, that's their priority this time. They have lost it already. And this is, again, a scaling lineup with a 5k gold lead, almost 5k gold lead, I mean.
Yep. Not even 10 minutes in. Circling Eagle onto Baloyski. He was way too deep. No one to help him there. Can't help but just crumple.
Again, like I mentioned, man, you know, the Natalia has been a great pick against RRQ, against BTK. Why? Because BTK and RRQ, they like to brawl it out, and they actually like to split up the map a lot as well. But you're going up against the ultimate bonding experience. Blacklist International, they stick to each other, they play for each other, and I feel like the Natalia is just it's not gonna work here in this case, and I was right. 5,000 gold lead, the Natalia 0 and 3. And 0 KP right now.
Oh my goodness.
Well, there's one kill on the map. It was off of a very, very forward Venus, which is, by the way, rocking a mystery shop. So even more, this gold lead's gonna matter. OHIB now picking up the Demon Hunter sword. Even Delarcy's gonna have to think twice.
Oh my goodness. And
the front lines it can't even take that much damage at this point.
We gotta have to give it to Blacklist International though. They have been playing so well I love the fact that they started with a good laning adjustment, and then eventually they used Wise earlier on than what you would expect from a Nathan. Maybe it's just ingrained into Wise and how he's able to farm fluidly, then eventually go for the kills.
Oh, Detna's welcome. Haji's gonna go into the belly. This might actually be a punish. Marky fires off the feathered airstrike. It's gonna be a free kill, but might actually be dangerous. Does not force the Renner.
At this point, Oheb is actually so strong with Demon Hunter Sword, and with Nibiru just attacking so many times at 6 in succession, it just means that this Demon Hunter Sword is gonna make it so difficult for this Barrett to tank up.
Also, the Blade of Despair. Oheb is swimming in it. He's eating good. And right now, Oheb caught out. Baloyski finally gets one. And there's the feathered airstrike. Gets another double kill for this Natalia. Onic PH showing signs of life.
Finally on the board. That was great by Onic Philippines, noticing that Blacklist are overextending without the help of Haji. They instantly capitalize on that fact and punish Blacklist.
Long way to go for Onic PH, but that is amazing fight. Eduardo trying to make a play, will now find it. The next problems that Blacklist International can force against Onic PH is this Nathan. So far, he is 1-0-2. When he gets his third item, he's gonna hit very hard, and it kind of will make Baloyski think about whether the Nathan should be jumped on or the Beatrix, right? So two problems. Then again, they still have good ways to kill him.
They don't. They really don't right now.
Oh, look at the catch on the Oheb. The favor keeping him alive via Oh My Venus, and yet they're still pushing. They're still putting pressure on the map. There's a little bit of breathing room that Kyrie bought up there. First tier turret taken down up top. Oh, but off camera, we just missed it. Wise blasting Marky. It's not gonna be a good look for this Farsa. Aggressive entropy plays, and now Baloyski, he's running for his life. Can he go for the greed ghost step one more time? They're not even gonna chase him. Taking down the tier 2 down bottom.
Tier 2 down bottom and in that mid lane. This is just good setup for the Lord. They might even just wait for the enhance to come in, 12 minutes, and then go for the end. At this point, again, sure, Onic Philippines showing signs of life with that play, but it's just still controlled completely by Blacklist. They've only dropped one turret.
Yep. Brute Force Breastplate picked up by Oheb. Make sure that he's not going to be one-shot by a lone Natalia. If it will be Natalia plus Farsa, maybe they'll get the kill, but again, might not be enough.
What's Edward doing? Diving in the 3, still survives, expending that flicker. Interesting maneuver there. Both teams kind of just like, let him go.
Yep, I think that Edward wants to kind of stop this push in the bottom lane. Was actually successful in doing so. Now, Athena Shield coming over to Blacklist International. More problems for Onic PH. Love the fact that Wise also picked that up. Make sure that he will not be one-shot again with this combo.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, he overstays. Maybe in the late game where the dire hit is maximum when it comes to stacks, it could be good.
Not good for Wise, but instead he bursts down Marky. Still alive, killing spree, popping on that Nathan, keeping him alive. And the pincer maneuver neutralized there. Instead, a free 1-for-none pickoff.
This is insane by
No
Blacklist.
Farsa for the defense.
Yeah.
Suffocation, no high ground.
Well, they already tried with the Mount Shocker. Here comes Wise from the north. Baloyski, they know. Exclamation point in tow. That's going to be Detna's welcome. Cancelled. Nibiru's passion blasting away at the remaining members of Onic PH. Top lane inhibitor going to go as well. Lord successfully taken down. But look at Wise putting a few beats onto Dolarski. Baloyski jumping onto this 5-man. There's the knockup. There's a takedown. Edward gets a stack on its Festival of Blood. And Marky uses the feathered airstrike just to clear this wave.
They're not even stopping at this point. They're just going to keep on going here. Bottom side turret is going to be next. Edward jumps in.
And he's going to pay the price. Hatred shuts him down. Venus uses the flicker to get out. Onic PH wants to hold on to this inhibitor down bottom.
And this is really just some mistakes from Blacklist International that allows Onic PH to get a kill. At this point, it's really just up to Blacklist International whether or not they're going to be losing those sieges. Because if you look at their composition, this Beatrix is going to be a big problem for Onic PH to defend against. The solution that they have is this gold lane Farsa, already up with the Winter Truncheon, still way below his gold lane counterpart, which is Oheb with 9,500 gold. He needs his next item, maybe get the crystal on top of the Winter Truncheon so that at least they'll be posing a kill threat However, at this point, they need to focus on minions.
Yeah, Baloyski might have been caught out here. Edward knows that there is a stealthy assassin afoot. Okay, this is just fancy footwork from Baloyski. Nibiru's passion into that lone bush, and he finds his target. Venus lands the circle eagle into that smog, and yet they still get the pick off.
I am lost for words right now. 7,000 gold lead, 8,000 gold lead right now as Blacklist completely control the map. They're not even pushing in these minions. They're just saving it. Haji going in to way the dragon.
Holy baptism set in by Hatred for the counter initiate. This is 4 members. There's the retribution slowing down Hatred. They're gonna blast this dino back into
Edward?
the Ice Age, and that's Edward getting out of dodge. Interestingly, how long Dilarski survived, and only then does he die.
Okay.
Finally, Kyrie gets one on at the Edward.
But he's gonna be trapped.
Too deep, and there's 3v1. Mouse Shock into the face, circling eagle, taking him down. Oh, he blasts him into oblivion as Baloyski is also going to be the same. But Nathan's still alive.
Twice!
Off of that, OM dashing forward. Hatred the only one left. We're about to crown another world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Blacklist International have done it. This is going to be a 4-0 sweep.
A complete shutout for Blacklist International as they shut down the dreams of Onic Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, your M3 World Champions, Blacklist International.
No more international curse for Blacklist International as they have overcome Onic PH in this grand finals. In the first time that Oh My Venus and Wise went to the world stage, they weren't able to make it to the playoffs. But this time they're gonna take it all the way. The champions, the world champions, Blacklist International.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on over to the main stage. Our lovely hosts with our world champions.
Wow! Thank you very much, Leo, Wolf, Marco.
Oh
Amazing
my gosh.
stuff. Mara, myself, Joaquin Gomez, congratulations to Blacklist. But also, where are our friends over at Onic PH? Guys, big round of applause for them as well.
Big round of applause for Onic Philippines. You have done a remarkable job to get this far.
Wow, loads of camaraderie coming here from fellow Filipino countrymen. It's nice to see. Whatever you're watching right now, if you're in the Philippines, drink it in. This is your region being the #1 in the world when it comes to Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
They have come a long way in the battlefield. They are rivals, but in here they are true friends representing Philippines. Onic Philippines and Blacklist International, there they are, showing love for each other, showing appreciation because they understand what it takes to get this far, to bring each other to the top.
What a story it is for Blacklist International, of course, coming back from the lower bracket. And our friends over at Onic PH, they were doing so well. So well, I don't think officially, or rather personally speaking, I don't think there are anyone who are losers today. It's a win for the Philippines. It's a win for both Onic PH as well as Blacklist International. But officially, there needs to be one title of world champion. That one going to Blacklist. And right now for Onic PH, thank you very much, Onic.
Thank you, Onic Philippines.
Onic PH, may we now invite you off stage. We'll catch up with you backstage. I believe plenty of media interviews await you. But Mara, shall we make our way next to what it was all about for the past few weeks here in Singapore? 91 plus 4 matches in total. That means 95.
Congratulations to our champions, Blacklist
International! Now, to officiate the award ceremony, may I please invite up on stage Managing Director of Moonton Esports, Mr. Lucas Mao. Come on up here, sir. We got new world champions to crown. Now,
Star! Uncle Eson!
hang on, not yet, not yet. Now, for Blacklist International, I will read your name in order. Please proceed to collect your medals, all right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, here in the crowd, at home, if you're watching this, keep the convo going in your comment section. Now, here we go, of course. Oh my, Venus, go get your medal. Up next, Wise, go get your medal, buddy.
Ohab! Edward!
Up next, Haji.
Dexter!
Come on up here,
Come
Dexter.
on up, Dexter! He stayed up day and night to strategize. Dexter, you deserve this medal. And Uncle Eson! Last but not the least, the leader, the brains behind the team, Coach Bon Chan!
Thank you very much, Mr. Lucas Mao. We'll see you soon. Amazing stuff. Please safely make your way off stage as well. Now, Blacklist International, one more award before you get your hands on your trophy. How about MVP? $10,000 USD.
And the playoffs MVP will go to
The Filipino sniper, Ohab! $10,000 USD in your bank account. All right. Blacklist International, this is your moment. Mara and I will count to 3. You lift the trophy as high as you want. Mara, let's take a step back. Some pyrotechnics, confetti. They're all gonna go off. Here we go. Blacklist, 1, 2, 3, champions of the world!
our MLBB M3 World Champions, Blacklist International!
Woo! They have officially broken the M3 code. The title of world champions still going back to the Philippines. It's gonna be a party tonight, and I cannot wait to see what goes on in the flight home tomorrow, Mara. Beautiful stuff.
To everybody watching online, you can now use the hashtag Protect the Crown, Break the Code, and it's a perfect time to write Pilipinas Love Malakas!
There we go. Now, Mara, I believe we have time to actually speak to a few of the players right now. So we're gonna approach anyone you wanna point out for us, Mara.
Wise, you're holding the M3 trophy. Ano pakiramdam? What does it feel right now for you?
Sa ngayon, di pa nagsisingin eh. Pero pag-uwi siguro ng Pinas kasi magpapasko din. Kaya sobrang saya.
It hasn't sunk in right now. Maybe when we got back to the Philippines, when we celebrate Christmas, and they're really happy right now. Venus, V, you were here also for M1. Now you get to take home the trophy. Last time we interviewed last night, you were very emotional. How's your heart right now?
I don't know. I'm just super happy. I'm so proud of my teammates. Para sa Pilipinas to!
Para sa Pilipinas!
Mara,
Coach Bon Chan, I have to talk to Coach Bon Chan. Coach, you've proven that you are the best coach in the world with the best team. What is going through your mind right now? Para sa Pilipinas!
Mara,
Coach Bonchan, I have to talk to Coach Bonchan. Coach, you've proven that you are the best coach in the world with the best team. What is going through your mind right now? Right now he's saying he's so happy because they came from the lower bracket and now they are the champions!
wow. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are around the world, if you've been following us since day one of all the M3 action, we say a big thank you. We've now come to the close of the entire tournament. Who do we thank, Mara, before we go?
M3 is powered by Moontime, supported by the Singapore Tourism Board and presented by TikTok Live!
Thank you so much. We say goodbye from Singapore. See you for N4. We're done. Bye-bye.
Pilipinas lang malakas!
Blacklist International, your world champions.
I'm burning up now, taking higher levels. I'm in a bad spot, trouble to my knees. I need a taste, sipping on heaven. You got me waiting, waiting for you. When chasing trophies got me ready, don't you worry. I feel the power, I'm the champion. You got me running for the glory. Good to let this go. Burning up now, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going faster, wanna break away. I love the way it feels. It's the adrenaline, we're going all the way. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a slide when we were young. Never run from the fire, we come to the top. Never run from the fight, all the way to the top. Never run from the fight, yeah, we rise to the top. I'm on a rush now, winning, that's my focus. I need some ice, you gotta cool me down. I feel my nirvana coming closer. You got me waiting, waiting for you. When chasing trophies got me ready, don't you worry. I feel the power, I'm the champion. You got me running for the glory. Good to let this go. Burning up now, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going faster, wanna break away. I love the way it feels. It's the adrenaline, we're going all the way. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a slide when we were young. Never run from the fight, yeah, we come to the top. Never run from the fight, all the way to the top. Never run from the fight, yeah, we rise to the top. Now nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going faster, tearing down the walls. Burning up now, nothing's gonna stop me. Oh baby, please, oh yeah. I love the adrenaline. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a slide when we were young. Never run from the fight, yeah, we come to the top. Never run from the fight, all the way to pressure, wanna break away. I love the way it feels. It's the adrenaline, we're going all the way. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a slide when we were young. Never run from the fire, we come to the top. Never run from the fight, all the way to the top. Never run from the fight, yeah, we rise to the top. I'm on a rush now, winning, that's my focus. I need some ice, you let it cool me down. I feel my nirvana coming closer. You got me waiting, waiting for you.